like, is it?
Rich, do you have it? Yeah.
Guys, move it down this way. Move it down.
Same thing.
Fucking.
That's the problem.
Like Coach always says, let's go skull make laugh. Here. I've all 3 balls here. I'm not checking, right?
John.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, well, you know what?
Multiple there too. Is it you that gets me every time with that?
Hey, special teams. Anybody wants to see us? Richard has the sheet there. If you need a check. I'm not sure.
Well, you made me laugh.
Are you in line with that one? Okay. I should have. 14.
What are you doing?
No, just long step right.
Watch out. The orange thing.
Oh, wait, I'm trained for this. No. So, you say kick. But if they win the pass and they defer, and then you defer as well, they get the ball and start going half. No, but I'm talking about if they already choose to kick. I've got that winner's mentality. So you always say. And then you lose it.
That's what I don't want.
You don't want your right foot to be better than you do that.
Back it in, come. Hi.
Square your captains.
Hi.
Go, boys. Go, boys.
Oh, it's just this. What you're talking about. It's okay, I'm not.
It doesn't mean, you know, within the rules of the game. Don't start. And then, really, it's a fake. Any word of communication.
Guys, Van needs to check special teams. Richard has the sheet. Pick your turn. Check it if you need to. Hey, front six. Get to the fucking 30 on the drop. Good one.
Hey, let's go, boy.
No,
Bring it in. We're doing fucking better. Let's go, UCD.
Let's go! And then we hit the field all day long! All night long! Offense line! Defense line! Special teams line! All day long! All night long! All day long! All night
Hello and welcome to another fantastic day for football from Dublin 4. My name is Max Wolpoff. Welcome everybody to today's Game 2 for UCD season between UCD and the Craigavon Cowboys. Should be a fun one today. UCD coming in with a comparatively light roster to previous games throughout the course of the season. UCD last game they finished with a 28-12 loss to the Louth Mavericks, recently promoted from Division 1. 2 touchdowns in that game for UCD. One via a kick return from Thomas Quigley, who is not on the roster for today's contest. And a touchdown reception from Pete Masterson. Good morning to everybody. I see chat is active. Drop a comment in the chat. We've already got Washington, D.C. tuning in, Orcas Island in Washington State tuning in. So we've got both coasts of the United States covered. 9:03 in the morning local time here in the east of the United States, and it is 1 o'clock local in Dublin.
Let's go, baby!
UCD will open the game with the ball after the coin toss. Thank you. Tuning in from Hong Kong, we've got a worldwide audience so far, as it's the Craigavon Cowboys getting us started on kickoff. Mark McCauley, I believe, will be the one on the kickoff, number 9. Pretty much everybody on the Cowboys was kind enough to submit a bio for today's game. And we have a stop and start on the kickoff. It wouldn't be a game in American football Ireland without the officials jumping in to stop something before it happens. Kick is away. Let's have some fun today. Back to receive is Jefferson Freeman. He gets around a couple of blockers. He's got a hole, and he'll cut across into the 30-yard line. County down, and Frankfurt, Germany tuning in. We've got an early penalty on the play. So we will check the penalty flag before we get too crazy today. And a block in the back on UCD will mark the return back. Starting on offense today, Tyg O'Connor is the notable change. He comes into today's contest after performing admirably during his initial game time last week. Aaron Mooney is out. He got folded up rather poorly on a difficult sack. Daniel O'Brien is also a rookie starter on the offensive line. He's listed as the left tackle today. So we're 0-0 following the penalty. Liam Butler will be at center. Freeman, Bruton, Masterson, and Pindy will be the starting receivers, with Sean Douglas, number 7, lining up in the backfield. Durthang, I think you and I both know that is impossible in this league.
Who were? Our front line was 5 yards too far back there. We need to move up. We were 5 yards too far off the ball there.
Cowboys offense will have to wait. Tyg O'Connor brings a man in motion. That's Pindy. It's a pop pass. Pindy receives it, but the bobble allows the Cowboys to make a run at it and get behind the blockers. It's a loss on first down. Jet sweep around the edge, and Pindy unable to handle the initial pass. So this will be 2nd and long coming up. For those uninitiated, thank you first for tuning in to today's contest. We are playing at UCD's AstroTurf Field on the western edge of the campus. O'Connor in the backfield sets up a 2nd down run for Douglas. And Douglas is a short run into the teeth of the defense. He is stopped. As already an injury, this is something UCD can ill afford today. As this is something UCD cannot afford today. They come in with a light offensive line. They've only listed starters at each of the offensive positions and 1 backup center, as it looks like that is Liam Butler coming off. Butler, a leader on this team. He was an incredible presence last season. It's his yes, that's part of the reason I'm able to still be doing this for all of you. 3rd and long set up here for UCD. O'Connor pistol set backfield, 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. He will look that direction, trying to go long, finds Masterson, who takes it away from Pindy. Masterson down the pipeline, and he steps out of bounds, and this is marked for a first. That was Freeman on the catch, 12, not 18. My apologies. The yellow numbers are a tad confusing at times, especially when the jerseys get bunched up like that. Freeman catch and run for the first down in an early, long 3rd down conversion. They'll flip the strength of the play, so that'll be 3 receivers left. It's a handoff for Douglas all the way, and a bunch of bodies in orange and black stop the run. Matthew Walsh among those in on the stop. Walsh, 25 years old, doing the quick math on his birthday in 2000. It was born in July of that year. 6'3" and County Armagh local. This up 2nd and call it 7. Again, 3 receivers. Going out low, looking for Freeman down the field, and he his catch. Signal his catch. Clock not working. Guess what? We don't have a clock. The time is kept on the field. Yet another long 1st down catch for Freeman. UCD trying to play tempo. Douglas will go out with now 4 receivers left side. This is an unusual formation for UCD. One receiver is going to be right. Douglas now comes in motion. Play is for him on the wheel route, and it's incomplete. Walsh again had coverage for the Cowboys. If you're just joining us, thank you so much. My name is Max Wolpoff, and I am the voice of UCD American football, as shown by this incredible gift mug that I got last year from a teammate. 1st and 10 went nowhere, so it'll be 2 receivers each side. Pindy comes in motion and a pre-snap penalty. Tried the slant route. And play will be stopped. Check the penalty. And that is interesting. That was in motion for offside, but he marked the penalty on the offense. As evidenced a few years ago by the Kansas City Chiefs, offensive offside is possible. So now this is 2nd and 15, incomplete pass on 1st down. Bruton and Freeman are the receivers you see on the right. I believe that is Masterson out wide to the left with Pindy in the slot. Bruton will go in motion. O'Connor's got some lane to go, and Pindy, that one was a dangerous overthrow. Worth noting, as it always is with UCD, they do not carry a special teams unit for kicking. So now it is 3rd down and long. Setting up from the 26. 3rd down. Bunch formation, left side of the offensive line. Douglas is going to go out wide. High snap to O'Connor. He handles it. Looking that direction. Got a man open. It's complete. It's out of his hands. Broken up in the secondary. Cowboys do have a special teams unit. Their long snapper is Jamie McGuffin, who was unhelpful in his bio, merely saying, and I'll quote him directly here, "It'll be fun to hear you pronounce it." He was the only one who didn't take it seriously. So thanks a lot, 55. Kicker today for them will be Mark McCauley. It's a long 4th down conversion. Now it's going to be 4 receivers left side. O'Connor looks that way, steps into the pressure. It is intercepted. Cowboys bringing it back. Up the field they come. And it is a quick tackle from Hugh O'Connor. And the Cowboys will open with good field position following the interception. It was 4th down, so an incompletion may or may not have done a whole lot different there. Liam Donnelly, I am counting the bios that they gave me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 8 rookies on today's roster for the Craigavon Cowboys. Orange and white helmets, as the black numbers are really thin. I can't exactly read who's starting at quarterback today. 3 receivers right. Quarterback drops back and will go for a long one. It's over the middle and off of 2 UCD defenders, incomplete. McKenniff on coverage. So now it sets up 2nd and 10. The voice you hear is Dara Farrell, the head coach and defensive play caller for UCD. UCD entering the game with a light roster. There's going to be a lot of new names on this team. It's a run right into the teeth of the defense, and the ball falls on the ground. UCD recovers it. Eddie Goggins Jr. falling on it, and the teams have traded turnovers to open today's contest. So this sets up UCD about where they would have started. Alex Merrick is tuning in. Good to see you again.
Everybody this way, guys. Just get everyone this way. Let's go.
So an early interception by Tygo O'Connor on a 4th down play. UCD gets it right back 2 plays later on the fumble by the halfback. This is Craigavon's first game of the season. They finished last year 1-6-1, losing to UCD 52-0 in the final game of the season, which didn't have any outsized meaning for both squads. Handoff to Douglas. Douglas cutting back upfield through the middle of the offense, and he's going to have some blockers out ahead, and he makes something out of nothing. Howdy indeed, Krusmeric, and how do you do, Sean Douglas? Douglas, as evidenced last season, fueled by donuts and Monster Energy. In that one, he showed off some monster toughness to get through those blocks. You know what? You're right. I forgot to edit that. Handoff again. Douglas cutting through. Douglas getting inside the red zone. Durthang, thanks for pointing that out. I might have missed that until the half. Two receivers left are all I can see on this camera angle. Opening goings, first quarter of action. Both teams have had the ball. They've both turned it over. Looking left side, got a man open. It is complete. Touchdown, UCD.
Kickoff, get ready, kickoff.
6 points on the board for the home squad. That's their first lead of the season. They went 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions in the most recent contest. As I'm watching the signal from the down judge on the far side of the field because I cannot see the play. Camera now goes in motion. It's a regular offensive formation for UCD. O'Connor looking to the corner of the end zone. It's caught for the conversion. Now that is how you start a contest. UCD on the board first, 8-0. First look today at the UCD special teams unit. Left to right on the starting kickoff unit, Alex Brady, Harry Watchorn, Cooper McQueen, Fritz Johann Franz making his roster debut. He'll be wearing 56 today. Jefferson Freeman is the last blocker on the left. Pete Masterson will be doing kicking. Usheen McCarthy will wear 46. He's the first one on the right. Lewis Stenson, Niall Coogan, Owen Corrigan, and Leo Downs finish off the kickoff unit.
Oh no, we've had 2 snaps.
Call is for discipline in the blocking lanes for UCD.
Fumble in the backfield without us touching them. So it's hard to say that we've really made it.
Anthony, there is no cameraman. It is AI, so there is no person there. Believe me, we don't like it either because it misses several key plays. What can I do?
What happened on defense there, by the way?
I'll show starting defense in the next graphic when they get a break after this kickoff return.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Masterson is back to kick. He had the only receiving touchdown in the first game.
Discipline now.
The AI really likes the Cowboys bench. Well, they all do stay pretty tight together. Masterson sends it away. It'll be the left side of the return formation, and it'll go through the end zone for a touchback. So that allows us a chance to show the UCD starting defense. Hugh O'Connor and Tom McKenniff will captain today's roster. Fionn McDonnell will be making his roster debut alongside Caleb Gang. Usheen McCarthy in linebacker. He was a backup last week. Goggins Jr. has already shown himself to be a key player recovering the fumble on the second play of Craigavon's drive. As the officials are discussing something, there is a yellow flag on the far side of the field by the Craigavon bench. Not 100% sure what they're discussing. I watched the ball sail and didn't quite register what else might have been happening. Looks like a cloudy day in Dublin. What else is new for March? There might be 2 flags on there. We're just getting started here. It's early goings of the first quarter. Both teams will now have had the ball twice. So the captains are now being called forward to discuss precisely what happened there. And initial signal is on the Cowboys. So the drive will begin from the 20 instead of the 25. That's all that means for us. We didn't get a signal as to precisely what the penalty was. There are 2 quarterbacks listed on the roster today for the Cowboys, Riley Roy and Dylan Rocks. I haven't seen a number yet because the camera quality isn't that great. Runs straight into the teeth of the defense, and the defense chomps him up and spits him out. Yet another loss on the run. 2nd and long. So it looks like the officials marked no gain on the play. Snap again. It's an option play. They'll pitch it to the running back. He is stopped at the line again. Wow. Heavy hit on 2nd down. Officials blow after the play. UCD says they've got the ball. And the officials disagree. And I'm seeing from some of the people tuning in with access to a larger screen than I have that it is Riley Roy, number 11. He lists himself as Sudbury, Ontario. This is his first college football game, but he has 11 seasons of football. His first year with the Cowboys, he played football at the University of Waterloo and then played college lacrosse in Florida. Swings a pass out to his left, and the defense stops him there. Took a couple of men to bring him down to the ground. That was 3rd down. Punter is Mark McCauley. He'll wear number 9. McCauley is from Belfast, although he lists it as Belfast, Ireland, for anyone who was curious. He played soccer as well as Gaelic rules football and Aussie rules football. What could possibly have gotten the fella to move to Craigavon? Your guess is as good as mine, Alex. I don't know. Maybe there's a hot industry coming into the territory. Kick is away. It's received. 3 receivers out, and Douglas shaking and baking, getting to halfway. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, granted, what was the reason for me moving to Dublin? Again, you could ask that question of pretty much anybody who comes to Ireland for opportunity. Could have just been a good chance. I didn't realize you were moving, Coos. 2 receivers each side. Make the pass to O'Riordan. They now throw it to him on the swing pass. He gets around 1, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and short gain, if any. UCD so far is locking down Craigavon's pass game. Testing my memory here, I think 2 completions. The rest were running plays or negatives. 3 receivers right on 2nd and 9. Handoff. Blockers out ahead. Got plenty of room. It's going to be a run straight up the middle. Another first down. As it is an injury timeout for a Cowboy down on the field. UCD going to take this opportunity to bring Water out to the field and bring the offense in. That's Cooper McQueen, number 30, running out with it. Aislan Lad, I see your comment. The British government disagrees, and so does the flag that flies above City Hall. But granted, what's it like in Ireland if you don't disagree with the British? That was a first down run, so it'll be a fresh set of downs for UCD. Getting past the 40, getting past the 30. Inability to count is a common problem in journalists. Howdy, Graham. Great to have you along for the ride. Touchdown throw and 2-point conversion are all that separates the 2 squads. As the side judge that's on UCD's side of the field has shared a brief word with the referee today. And she will get back into position. This is 1st and 10. Craigavon lining up, looks like a traditional 4-3. O'Connor drop back. O'Connor looking to the sideline. It's underthrown. It's incomplete. Break as the ball was underthrown to his intended target. Defensive back cut in front of it through his hands, and the receiver playing defense on the ball wasn't back in time to make the catch. That might have been an easy walk-in touchdown for Arun Sen if he didn't move, but he didn't know that the defensive back would drop it. 2nd and 10, 3 receivers right. O'Connor waits. O'Connor back to the right side. It's tipped at the line, and it's incomplete. Gosh, I wish Craigavon's numbers were more legible so that I could actually talk about them and tell you some of the bios that they gave me. That's Sean McVeigh on the right and Eddie Goggins Sr. on the left. Goggins Sr. is listed as the backup quarterback today, as well as Tom Donovan, the emergency 3rd. It's O'Connor's start. 3 receivers right on 3rd down. Running back goes in motion out to the right. They'll keep it pass behind the line of scrimmage for Houghton. And Coogan cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. So this will now be a long 4th down play. And UCD's going to go for it. Triangle receiver formation, left side of the line. They're going to go for it here. Coogan out in motion. Looking that way first. Tries a long ball. Has a man over the top, and it is incomplete. Double coverage. Ball falls to turf. And the offense is back. This is their throwback uniform? What are they throwing back to? The years that they won the Shamrock Bowl? Which is a true story, by the way. The Cowboys were an early success story in Irish American Football League play. They won plenty of Shamrock Bowls in their early years. Last couple of years have been kind of lean on the squad. I believe that is indeed Riley Roy, 11 instead of 4. We'll go under center. offset I formation. It's a handoff to the running back, and that is not going to go anywhere. Okay, they're running this uniform all year. Well, it'd be. I'm sure it's beautiful in person, but the black against the orange does not look great with a low resolution camera. Again, I've had this issue with uniforms before where they look amazing in person and up close, but if I'm 200 plus feet away with a low resolution camera and I can't tell what it is, again, from my position, I can't see. Roy calling out signals again. Offset gun eye. He can't handle the snap, but he's got a lot of running room right side. He's going to make it toward the 40, and he's bumped out of bounds there. And a flag comes in late. 2 flags now. There was no contact appeared on either throw, so we'll check what the flag is. Perhaps something someone said.
He was talking shit to Holly.
Give him a warning. Just give him a warning. We're fine with that. We don't mind.
If that's what it is.
We don't mind that. Just give him a warning.
Even head coach Dara Farrell is saying, just give him a warning. Guess these officials hate me because they're not telling anybody what the penalties are. So it appears that the penalty costs no yards. I believe this is either 2nd and short or a 1st and 10. The down markers are kept near side. And this run again goes straight into the UCD defensive line, and it's a gang tackle to bring him back. McCarthy and Toby on the stop. Shiny numbers suck on cameras. Again, I'll say this to anybody. I'm a bit of a uniform snob because of my position. I'm calling this off of the live feed. So if you guys have struggled seeing the numbers, it's harder for me because I've got the chat over here, the roster notes over here. It's a big old kerfuffle. Offset gun eye. 1 receiver each side, and it's offside. And it's an offside call. Cadence works out in Craigavon's favor, and I believe they're going to get a free 1st down out of this. Yep. Yardage results in a 1st, and this will be the Cowboys' first trip inside of UCD territory today. Watchorn will come out near side for this defensive setup. Butt to the sideline tends to indicate zone coverage. Got a man in the slot. They're going to throw that direction. Watchorn nearly broke it up. Looks like Joshua John Charlton was the man they tried to get the ball to, number 5. Joshua John is from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and previous sports experience includes rifle shooting. He's ranked the 39th best shot in the United Kingdom, or pistol shooting. He didn't say what kind of shooting, just shooting. Hand off, and this one goes nowhere. That was 2nd down. I believe that was Kevin Mayo running onto the field, based purely off of the nickname called out, Kev. I didn't get a number for him, but now that I saw him running with a name, it looks like he wears number 50. He'll line up on the far right side of the defensive formation. Roy back to throw, looking long, it's up in the air. Harry Watchorn can't bring it down. Wide receiver played some good defense, but Sean Quinn can't catch it either. And that 3rd down goes nowhere. Now Watchorn knows he can catch that ball. Sounds like they're sending Doug out on the field for a punt as the Cowboys crack midfield and cannot go any further.
Don't jump! Take it easy. Don't jump!
Mark McCauley is the punter for the Cowboys. UCD is lining everybody up on the line. And they're going to send everybody after it. The ball is dropped. McCauley able to get it away. And they're going to keep the receivers away. That's a fortunate break for the Cowboys. That looked like a disaster waiting to happen. And instead, it's only a punt. I hear the Gardaí sirens are out and working today, so it must be a busy day in County Dublin. Again, I am grateful that the Cowboys roster, pioneered by Jason Duddy, of course, were kind enough to fill out the bio sheets, but if I can't read the uniforms, I can't tell who people are. And just as I say that, of course, I see penalty is going to give UCD some free... Oh, end of the quarter. Sorry for assuming it was a penalty. It's a pretty safe assumption in AFI to make that. Second quarter starting up. Both teams had the ball 3 times in 3 complete possessions. UCD finished in the end zone once. 2-point conversion gives them an 8-point lead. Just as I say, plenty of the guys on the Cowboys were able to fill out the bio. I see somebody with the jersey number 21, and nobody filled that number out. So I don't know who that is. UCD will open the quarter with the ball on their own half of the field, looking like the 25. Officials are discussing the spot. UCD wearing their alternate sky blue with yellow numbers and blue helmets. Two receivers each side with actually one receiver left. It's 2 in the backfield. It's going to be a run play, and that is a rip down high.
Hey, one voice, just the captain.
As on the tackler on that play is actually down. Definitely an awkward fall. And they're going to call in the medical personnel from the sidelines. That's Liam Butler also signaling for it. Good to see him back out there following an early injury. I do not have a number, so while we're waiting, get your questions in. Yeah, there are a couple of guys on Craigavon who don't have D-line in the 60s, but if they all are in the 60s, I only have one person in the 60s who gave me a bio, and that was Callum Gildernew. It might be Gildernew. I'm not sure where the emphasis is supposed to be. Medical personnel is on the field to tend to a fallen Craigavon Cowboys player. The man you see on his knees is somebody helping him. That's Jason Donnelly. As Dara Farrell has also gone out to check on him. So get your questions in. We got a lot of people in the chat, so I'm sure you've all got curiosity questions. I'll answer most reasonable inquiries. Otherwise, without questions, it's sort of just a wait and see until medical personnel can bring the injured player off the field.
busy giving out your lads and like having a bit of jar and back and forth with the guy who was just tackling. He's like, I'm right here.
This is the first drive of the second quarter. Neither team has used a timeout, and UCD opened the game with the ball. Why doesn't UCD have a kicking unit? How's my bracket? I'm going to answer the how's your bracket question. Mr. Freeman, I don't make brackets anymore. In the 2017 men's tournament, I made the mistake of picking Virginia to win. And if anybody remembers the 2017 men's NCAA tournament, they know that that was the year UMBC beat Virginia in the first ever 16-1 upset. I couldn't enjoy that game because I wanted Virginia to win for my bracket. I wanted to be right. So instead, by the end of the game, seeing UMBC pull off the big win, never in doubt, I thought, you know what? I want to enjoy these moments. I want to root for the underdog. I want to cheer for the big upsets. I want to cheer for the likes of the High Points, the Bucknells, maybe not Bucknell. I'm a BU guy. So instead, I don't make brackets anymore. Last year, I did make one. I finished 3rd out of 5 in the sports management program's bracket pool. It's actually interesting. We had a guy in it, big, burly guy from County Wexford. My Irish listeners and viewers will know the type. And he picked Duke to win. And again, I'm American, so I understand. I know Duke doesn't actually win the tournament most years. So first time I saw him after the March break, I asked, why'd you pick Duke? And he said, I just sort of like them. And then he asked me in his extremely thick accent, hey, Max, why is it called March Madness if it ends in April? So I had to tell him that a broadcaster had coined the term back when the tournament did end in March. It doesn't anymore. Why doesn't UCD have a kicking unit? Philosophical reasons. The coaching staff just doesn't think that it's necessary, and so they don't have one. What did Jamie Morris write about himself? Can you ask Dark to grab milk on the way home? I'm not sure, Surest Bubbles. Let me find out for you about what did Jamie Morris write about himself. Whatever Jamie Morris wrote about himself, he didn't tell me. Second down. Receiver going in motion. He'll look that direction. It's a curl route, and it's a few broken tackles. So a short gain, UCD sets up a 3rd down. Yeah, Jamie Morris did not give me a bio, so I don't know what he would have written about himself because he didn't tell me. Tygo O'Connor is at the controls. He has 3 receivers to his right to work with. O'Connor handoff on the play. Blockers are way out ahead. No rush lane discipline for the Cowboys defense, and it's a 1st down run.
Scoot down, let's go.
Good job, Bo. Keep it up now.
Douglas will come in at running back.
Hold on, Niall.
Wab Buffett, I'm not comfortable saying words like that on here. I don't like to insult people unless they really wrong me personally. He just chose not to fill out a bio. It's all voluntary. I just needed to be successful. O'Connor looking right. He'll cut across the middle. He's got a man open. It's caught. It's a great game, 1st down. Just read a random Cowboys bio each play. You know, I could do that, but that would potentially ruin the real aspects of this. Arun Sen is going to come off after that catch and run. 1st down at the 33. Pat Duffy is the lone receiver left side. He's got now 3 teammates to the right. Hot route signaling from Tygo O'Connor. Looks like a heavy rush is going to come, and they'll run around the blitz. That's a great catch and run for Finn Bruton. Always reviewing footage and making spreadsheets. Yeah, the spreadsheet game is very strong with a lot of football clubs. This is the first possession of the second quarter. There'll be 3 receivers left, and I believe the Cowboys are going to call a timeout. They will. That's their first of the quarter. So that's 2 timeouts left for the team on defense now, Craigavon, and 3 timeouts left for the home squad, UCD. Yeah, Kong, again, it's a coaching staff philosophy. They prefer to go for it. And last year, their 2-point conversion percentage was such that they actually did get more points by going for it than they would have by just kicking a field goal, even assuming they make every field goal after touchdown. Just a philosophical thing. It created an interesting problem lining up for the Shamrock Bowl against the Belfast Trojans. Because UCD doesn't have a field goal kicking unit, they don't normally practice blocking field goals as other teams do have kicking units. And UCD knew that Belfast had a place kicking unit for after touchdowns. So they sort of hodgepodge threw one together with a guy who they knew could kick field goals. And they pretty much threw all the tallest guys into the lineup and said, all right, just run straight ahead and put your hands up. It did result in a PAT block in that game. Didn't end up helping UCD. They got shut out. Running back goes in motion. O'Connor looks that direction, and it is incomplete. Where are the cheerleaders and stuff? Is that not in American football? You know, yes, cheerleaders are in American football, and if you watch the Shamrock Bowl back from last season, we did get a cheerleading team to come do a halftime show for both the Harp and the Shamrock Bowls, which was a ton of fun. It was great to see the girls out there, and yes, they were all very young. But again, where do you think you're going to find a staff of people to do that? O'Connor fakes the handoff. It's a blindside blitz. He's rumbled in the backfield, and it's a strip sack. Craigavon recovers. Right tackle blitz. And it's another lost ball for UCD. That's their second turnover today. Yeah, cheerleaders aren't really an Irish thing. Come to think of it, I'm not sure they're in any other country thing. It's a very American innovation to have a roster of people dedicated purely to cheering on people. Although Japanese and Korean baseball would beg to differ. They have true cheerleaders in a sense where they actually lead cheers the entire game and the whole crowd gets into it. Whenever I get a chance, I do love watching Japanese and Korean baseball because it's always so much fun with that. Pitch play on first down. It's a backwards pass and it's a backwards run. Up from the linebacker position, that's Tom McKenneth. Last year, a running back on this squad who has made the move to linebacker to free up a spot in the running back room. He also plays quarterback for UCD's flag football team, so don't be surprised if you see McKenneth line up on offense at some point later this season. Michael Harvey is the receiver closest on the defensive end. Roy, pass behind the line of scrimmage. It's caught, and it's a short gain. Yeah, option coverage last week against the Louth Mavericks was a struggle spot, as it's Kevin Mayo coming in. I don't have a bio for him, so I don't know what to tell you about him, other than that he wears 50 and runs off. And actually, Tavir Toby is going to come off. That's Millie Peach coming in. She wears 61 for UCD, and I believe she's the only woman on the active roster for the students. Receiver in motion left to right. It's going to be a long throw. Intercepted! Turnover of the day. And UCD gets a great return out of it. Receiver was not looking for that ball as it flew behind him straight into the hands of the waiting coverage man.
Watch out for the collar.
Now it'll be 2 receivers each side with Douglas in the pistol back set. O'Connor signals, brings motion from left to right. There's a handoff to Douglas. They send blockers outside. And it's a great run. It'll be a first down, UCD. Second possession of the quarter for UCD. First one ended with a sack fumble. Pindy and O'Riordan ditch a couple of things from their arms. 3 receivers left as they line up with Duffy. Broken pistol. It's an option run. It's handed off to Sean Douglas, and Douglas knifes through the defense. 2 first down runs in a row. Have the UCD offense inside the 5. 8-0 lead. UCD scored on their second possession of the first quarter. Can they get a mirror play here and score on their second possession of the second? 1 receiver wide out to the right. Means likely 3 receivers left. Camera decides to not watch this play. And Douglas runs all the way to the edge. He's in. Touchdown, UCD. Put 14 on the board. UCD will go for 2 to make it 16. Milk Tray, I see your comment. I'll address that after the 2-point conversion. Well, we have a little bit of time before the kickoff. UCD will line up left hash. It'll be 3 receivers right. Douglas comes back into the backfield, and he'll line up in fullback position. O'Connor rolls. O'Connor throws. Corner of the end zone. It is incomplete. UCD goes 1 for 2 on 2-point conversions, and they have a 14-point lead. Milk Tray, again, I'm thrilled that people want me to come back for the Shamrock Bowl. I'm very happy that that's something people want. I'm not sure if it's possible this year. I got a new job, and there's a work obligation that I'm not sure I'll be able to get out of on Shamrock Bowl Day and the 2 days before and after. So I'm not 100% sure whether I'll be able to go to the Shamrock Bowl at all, let alone commentate it. Again, I wish that there was a way to make that work. I'm just not sure. So until something is certain, either I'm not going or I am going, I'm choosing to keep my mouth quiet on whether or not the Shamrock Bowl is a possibility. Right now, there are no plans to go, and there are also no plans not to go. That's also July's problem, and that's several months in the future. So we all have some time. Hey, I'm thrilled you tuned in. I'm thrilled you liked it. I in the commentary on that game, most of it was focused on the games itself and the players on the field, as it should be. But it was very refreshing to see people actually enjoy the broadcast, especially after the second game. Kickoff is received. It's the first actually received kickoff. The other one was held up as a touchback. Second possession of the day for the Cowboys in this quarter. This is now their 5th. 2 punts and 2 turnovers, a fumble to open the game, and an interception on the last drive. So we'll see what Sudbury's own Riley Roy tells his offense to line up with. Shotgun set. Motion from the tight end. Low snap, it's handled. Crosses across the middle, and it's broken up. Harry Watchorn on coverage. Incomplete. Craigavon's best drive of the day was, I believe it was their third when they got into UCD's territory, but stalled out and ended up punting it away. Looks like about the same formation as they call out Italy. Not sure what the signal is here. It's an option play. Another pitch to the halfback, and he slips and falls. Could have been a better gain, but it wasn't. Roy now heads to the sideline. Hugh O'Connor comes off as Mayo replaces him on the left side of the defensive line. They'll flip the strength of the formation from left to right for offense. Roy, snap to his chest. Ball down the field is intercepted. 2 drives, 2 interceptions in this quarter as UCD gets the ball right back. And UCD telling their defense to get off the field. They've got the ball, so no use putting their offense in any more deficit than they already are. Starting out from about the 30, called the 29. It's now 3 turnovers today for the Cowboys as they are not on the board yet. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what happened to Aaron Mooney, nothing in today's game. Last week he was sacked and it was a little bit of an awkward fall. So Mooney is going to be sitting today's game out. UCD entering today's game 0-1 in Premier Division competition. Motion from right to left. It's a low snap. It's handled. Pindy on the jet sweep. And he fumbles the ball. It's a pile up for it. The Cowboys say they've got it. And the Cowboys indeed have it. First play is a fumble. So 2 turnovers on 2 straight plays put the Cowboys back in great field position. That's Patty Sweeney coming off the field with the ball. The question was, is the ball wet? Always a valid question on a rainy day in Ireland. And now 3 possessions for UCD, fumble, touchdown, fumble in this quarter. And it's interception, interception for the Cowboys in there too. See what they do on the third. Tight end set left side of the line, 1 receiver left, 2 to the right. Roy sends it behind the line of scrimmage, and that's where the play will end. Dara Mooney came here ready to play today. What a hit to knock down the receiver.
Turning the body, been like just kind of the hands are like in the trap.
UCD going with a 4-4 formation with linebackers with 1 safety. Motion from right to left. It goes orbit around. And it's a toss play. They get past 1 blocker, and as now the ball's on the ground, it's recovered by UCD. 3 straight drives end in turnovers. This has been the quarter of the turnover. The only drive to not end in a turnover ended up with a touchdown for UCD as they were up 2 possessions with the ball at midfield. UCD lines up 2 receivers to the left. Full set in the backfield with 1 receiver out wide to the right. O'Connor handles the high snap. It's a run play left side. And Bruton gets out ahead. Jack Finnegan on the run. Call is away from the play caller. Two men are signaling the offensive coordinator's directions for the offense. UCD does not huddle. They get the signals from the sidelines. It'll be triangle receiver formation right side of the line, and a shotgun back set. Duffy is the lone receiver on the low side of the screen. UCD gets away with a little bit of a false start there as it's a Finnegan run, and it's a Finnegan push of the pile close to 10 yards if it isn't. And indeed it is. What's the target thing on the close side of the pitch? Are you referring to the orange cones? I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to, Wob Buffett. So run by Finnegan, who was famously called slow by Marshawn Lynch in a off-season workout. UCD participated in a fun Inyo City with Marshawn Lynch on his trip to Ireland to promote the Ireland game for the NFL. And Jack Finnegan was called slow by one of the strongest running backs. The two guys are holding a stick with a red target. Okay, so that's what you mean. The target is the current spot of the ball. So it's the yard line the ball is actually at. The other thing, the other sticks that they're holding, that's the number of yards left in a normal 1st and 10 situation. O'Connor looks right, looks that direction, keeps going, and it's a dangerous throw into coverage, and it ends up going incomplete. That was 2nd down. It brings up 3rd. So Wob Buffett, I'll back up a bit. I recognize people are maybe watching for the first time or still relatively new to the sport. Typically, teams have a chain of 10 yards. That is the normal length for a 1st down play. So 1st down and 10, you get 10 yards by play or by penalty. You reset the chains and it moves with the ball. The red target is where the ball is actually marked. We need you at Shamrock Bowl. Brandon, listen, man, I wish I knew if I could go there. I've got work obligations now. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Finnegan in the backfield. O'Connor will hand it to him. It's a run right side, and it's well blocked, but there are flags on the play. Finnegan fighting for as many yards as possible. So we'll check the penalties before we go any further. So to finish my story, as O'Riordan comes on for Finnegan.
Thank you for bringing it.
But it was for me.
Offense is staying on the field as it's a penalty on UCD, as Masterson will come in for Pat Duffy. So they'll sub a Pete in for a Pat. As it looks like Craigavon might be declining the penalty and just taking the result. When does Daniel O'Brien get his Rookie of the Year award? At the end of the season, Jack? And UCD, hefty penalty, looks like a hold for 10 yards. So again, when the ball is spotted for a fresh set of first down play, it's supposed to be 10 yards. Barring penalties and other things, it can be more, it can be less. Once you gain 10 yards, the chains move with you, and the red target is wherever the down actually is and where the plays actually begin. 3 receivers left. O'Connor looking that direction. Masterson on the catch. It's a good 3rd down play. As UCD is going to call a timeout. That's their first of the half. So this will set up a 4th down play. UCD trying to save clock. 12-minute quarters. Time is kept on the field, and I do not recall seeing a 2-minute warning from anybody on the field. Fun bit of football history trivia if anybody wanted it today. The original down and distance used to be 1st and 5. So it used to be 5 yards for a 1st down, not 10. That was one of the many innovations of the 1905 football crisis. where they moved back the number of yards by double. So whenever you see a 1st and 5 following a offside penalty on first down, remember that used to be the down and distance for football. Hence the strategy you might hear on commentary of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That if you did that for 2 plays and you were successful, you got a first down in the old days. UCD will go for it on 4th down from the 29. It is 4th and 10. Got to get, looks like, to the 19. 3 receivers right. O'Connor sending Finnegan to the right. Got options. Over the top he goes, looking to end zone. And intercepted or incomplete, I'm not sure which. But it ends up in a turnover of some sort.
On the board.
So that's a turnover on downs because the ball is coming back to the original spot on the field. Two possession lead for UCD over the Craigavon Cowboys visiting from Northern Ireland. The season does not get any easier for UCD following this. Their next game is against the Belfast Trojans. It will be at home. They don't have a road game until game 4 of the season. But the next game is not going to be an easy one for UCD. As both teams have 2 timeouts left. UCD has held the ball 4 times in this quarter. Fumble, touchdown, fumble, turnover on downs. Meanwhile, here for Craigavon, they've got to try to break this turnover streak. Interception, fumble go their most recent 3 drives. Under center snap to Roy. It's a run. It goes nowhere. And that'll be now 2nd and long. UCD takes their 2nd timeout. The signal from the side judge needs to get better. Typically, after the timeout, you point to the side where the team is lined up that called it, and she pointed to Craigavon, and instead it was UCD that called the timeout. Yeah, camera operator is artificial intelligence, so take that up with AI, Dave. Trust me, I wish there was a person I could complain to. I truly do wish there was a person I could complain to about this, but it is 2nd and 12, it looks like. Maybe 11. AI taking jobs it doesn't need to take. Jar, absolutely right. 1 receiver each side. Heavy backfield. Shotgun snap. Looking down the sideline. Watch horn, and it's caught! What a catch and run down the sideline. The Cowboys are on the board. Beat Harvey in coverage. And the Cowboys break the goose egg. For a team that didn't score at all season against UCD in the final game of the year, that's a huge touchdown heading into the halftime interval. Cowboys will get the ball to open the half. That was a great catch and run. I believe it was a single number receiver, and I think it was 5, Joshua John Charlton, that they handed it to. Again, it was really good coverage by Michael Harvey in the secondary. The Washington State native and big Seattle Seahawks fan. Could not break through, as it's now 14-6. Cowboys are incentivized to go for 2 here, and they will not. Holder is Roy, the long snapper is Jamie McGuffin, and the kicker is Mark McCauley. UCD will send in a kick rush. And it is low. So the PAT is no good. UCD has 1 timeout left. Cowboys have 2. And from what you might be able to hear on the UCD sideline, the coaches believe there is plenty of time to go down the field and score. The clock does stop following the achievement of a first down. So that is an interesting way to extend drives under the rules of this game. You won't see that in the NFL. They've done away with that rule several years prior, if they ever had it. (14-6) is the score. Cowboys will get the ball to open the second half. McCauley to kick again for the Cowboys. All right, you may have just heard from one of the coaches, 1:41 is the time remaining. Time is kept on the field. So there is time for a couple of explosive plays, but this is another one of the philosophical issues with not carrying a kicking team. You have to get in the end zone to score. So it's a low line drive kick to restart play. It is reset and caught. Up the middle he comes, and it's going to be past the 30, looking about the 34. Liam Butler in the center of the line. He'll comes out with another ball to restart play. Short return as far as time coming off the clock. We're looking at around 1 minute, 30 seconds to go. UCD lines up at the 32 to open their 5th drive of the quarter. 2 receivers each side, shotgun back. Tygo O'Connor is on the controls. He takes the snap, passes behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to send it out for block. Short game. And UCD will fire their timeout here. So the short gain results in UCD burning their last timeout. So UCD is now out of timeouts for the half. Cowboys have 2 left should they choose to take any of them. As the AI camera has decided that this final drive is not worth watching, as they are watching the ball on the other side of the field. Oh, this is just great. Oh, it's just great. I hate this so much. Camera gets back in position for the play, and then it drifts off back into the defensive side. O'Connor has some time to throw. Looking sideline. Incomplete pass is the signal from the officials. UCD's got to be careful with this 3rd down call. It is a long 3rd down play. Cowboys have 2 timeouts, and they just got an explosive touchdown pass for their only score of the day so far. If UCD fails to convert the 1st down here, Cowboys might try to do a double dip at the end of the half. All receivers going to the right except for one. O'Connor, and that's going to be a false start. The receiver on the far side of the field ran a tad early, and this 3rd down just got harder. (10:13) East Coast of the United States. It'll be 2:13 local time in Ireland. We're thrilled you've decided to join us for this Premier Division action. We're coming up on halftime. We've got about 90 seconds remaining in this half. So get your questions in. I'm going to take a short break to refill my tea, get some water. As it is 14-6. UCD a long 3rd down. 3 receivers to the right after the left after the motion. It's a conservative play call here, a handoff. And the running back stays on his feet. And this Finnegan, he gets close to that 1st down, not quite. It's Niall Kruger with a great run. This is 4th down. UCD trying to go quickly to go for it. As now that run by Niall Coogan makes things interesting here. Coogan did not fill out a bio as the timeout from the Cowboys. The coaching staff rethink their strategy here, and they will play field position 4th and 3, and at least line up to punt. Aid McGuire among those coming in from the sideline. Allen, who went out earlier, is listed as the personal protector in the middle of that punt formation. So Cowboys have 1 timeout remaining, and they're likely about to get the ball back, barring a fake here. We got a lot of people in the chat, so please let me know where you're tuning in from. We've already had people tuning in from all over the world. We've got West Coast US covered, East Coast US covered, Ireland's covered. We have somebody tuning in from France, someone from Germany. We had someone coming in from Hong Kong to cover the Asian time zones. This is an amazing setup. We got a 1-score game. We're closing in on halftime. London tuning in, great to see. Back for Donovan, and he gets the kick away. It's a short kick. It'll bounce toward the end zone. It's going to be a great kick. And UCD downs it just in front of the goal line. Tuning in from Vietnam. Good evening to you. I think it's evening. Wow, that was an amazing punt by Tom Donovan, his first of the day. And it falls right at the goal line. Good coverage as well to make sure it didn't roll into the end zone for a touchback. So this presents a predicament for the Cowboys. Normally here, if you're more interested in just taking the ball into the half, you would take a knee, but there's no space to take a knee. And their running offense has not done well. They've had a lot of runs go for negative yardage. And from the 1.5, it looks like Cowboys are in some trouble here. They got to run a play.
It's not the end.
Roy at the control. And it's a run play into the teeth of the line, and it's a short gain. The Cowboys get fortunate to get to the 3.
Turn him over.
UCD going to play hard here. They have no incentive to go light. Cowboys down to 1 timeout left, and they're not using it here. Receivers are spread out to the right side with a tight end and a running back in the backfield joining Roy as he takes the snap. He'll roll out, and it's a throw incomplete. So now it's 3rd down. Not a whole lot of time has run off the clock. This is a predicament here for the Cowboys. Again, we're end of half clock management. Cowboys taking as much time as possible off the clock as they can on the previous play because it was a run. Now it's a pass. The clock is stopped due to the incompletion. Watching from Rotterdam. Happy to see you tuning in on your fine afternoon. And Roy will take the snap from under center. And he'll drop to a knee. End of the first half. Messy from all sides. UCD's drives in the first quarter, interception, touchdown with a 2-point conversion, turnover on downs. Second quarter, fumble, touchdown, fumble, turnover on downs, punt. In the first half for the Cowboys drives, fumble, punt, punt. Second quarter, interception, interception, fumble, touchdown, point after try missed, and this one with a knee to end the half. That gives us a score of 14-6. Once again, we want to thank UCD's presenting sponsor, Tap House, proud partners of UCD American football. Tap House Bar, Kitchen, and Sounds, your favorite destination for pre- or post-game parties. And we would not be able to run these streams without all of you. So please, if you are interested, our Club Revolut link is on the left. One of our club officers' Venmo links is on the right. Please consider a donation to UCD American football. All money goes towards covering our costs for the season. We did make a slight profit last year, only because of the donations we received. Thanks to all of you watching. It is halftime, so game will open very soon. I'll change the graphic for the third quarter, but I'm going to go take a short break. I need to get a couple of things to get started. We'll be back for the second half of action. Drop your questions. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll answer your questions when I come back.
And Dara also made sure that I think I played maybe half the game. At that point, that might just be the correct that might just be. It's only real.
No problem. Hey, Dan, what's happening?
What are you trying to say, sir?
Oh, no.
It's essentially pseudo-cream. It's essentially pseudo-cream. Essentially pseudo-cream. But pseudo-cream is different.
I took two.
I'm not even joking. I'm probably going to come home burnt today.
I know.
I see the sun and I get
Oh, got loaded up on Cheers. I'll let you know how effective.
I have a drink. No, I didn't. If you don't want it. They don't want this one.
Someone is yanking.
What's that?
Someone's yanking.
Really?
Why can't you drop
Really? Where's that from?
my wife oh no, I'd heard it like literally worse than shocking. I wish it was really
That'll be on the chef stat sheet. I will have one here. People that actually got a pass, and then there'll be every and then there'll
that's the way you're talking.
I might always get the ball.
Yes, it's chocolate.
You like it?
That was my favorite. Everyone's done it.
every time it's like, you see, I might as well just fumble the ball right back to me. I have to finish this. I have to finish the turnover. You guys don't.
Okay, bring it in, let's go! Bring it in, let's go! You're gonna see, you're just gonna get some fun for Henry Nevin. He's gonna start looking for the pass. Yeah. Bring it in, let's go! Let's go.
Hello and welcome back. Tuning in from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Happy to see the Canadians are making their voices heard. The score is 14-6 at the half. Riley Roy for the Cowboys has one touchdown pass. I believe it was to Joshua John Charlton, the Sao Paulo, Brazil native. as it was a single-digit number on the wide receiver team, and there's only 2 of them, and the number did not look like 1, which would be Sean Quinn. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and say it was 5. We're thrilled all of you have decided to make us part of your Sunday, whether it is morning like it is here in the United States, whether it's afternoon like it is throughout all of Europe, or whether it's the evening and you're tuning in from Asia like one of our loyal listeners from Hong Kong. Thank you for making us part of your day. Cowboys will open the half with the ball. They scored once thanks to an explosive pass play to the aforementioned Charlton. Otherwise, their drives were not very good, including 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumble for an even split. Cowboys, you see on the opposite sideline, warming up. UCD offense, on the other hand, watching from Tellico Plains, Tennessee. Happy to see. Thank you for tuning in. That was not an intentional play on words of Tennessee and happy to see. I didn't intend to do that, but we're going to roll with it as if I did. UCD offense today has struggled a bit moving the ball, but they do have 2 scores to show for their efforts. They scored on the second drive of both quarters in the first half. Got the 2-point conversion in the first and did not get the 2-point conversion in the second. Offense today is being run by Tyg O'Connor. Tyg is filling in for the normal starter, Aaron Mooney. O'Connor is a Dublin native, and this is not his first time playing in meaningful minutes for UCD. If I recall correctly, he also started last year's game against the Cowboys, which was a 56-0 drubbing up in Craigavon. Cloudy with a bit of rain today in Dublin, which is typical for a March day, as it is a busy day on UCD's fields. There's events going on each of these 3 fields on the western edge of UCD's campus, which for anybody not aware with Dublin's geography is in the south. UCD occupies a lot of land in Dublin 4, which is, again, the postal code for Dublin's. The Dublin's postal codes are split evenly, odds and evens. Odds are north of the River Liffey, evens are south. When I lived in Dublin when I was at UCD, I was in Dublin 14, which was not far away from Dublin 4. I was right on the dividing line. So I lived in 14 and walked to 4 for my classes. Although none of you came here to hear me talk about that. You came here to see me talk about football. Pete Masterson, number 18, already with a receiving touchdown this season, is going to be the one who kicks off the ball. The man in the white jacket on the sideline is Larry Doyle, full first name Laurent. As the Cowboys receiving unit is back out. So Cowboys, I don't know if they lost the toss or not, but they kicked off to start the game. Game started on time today. Last week, we had a nearly 50-minute plus delay because the referees decided they couldn't see the goal line enough to determine if a play was in the end zone or not for a score. So they forced UCD to go get some spray paint, and behind the scenes look, the club had end zone paint in the lockup that they borrow from the school. They just didn't see it in time, so they sent somebody to get spray paint. We ended up getting the same result. They painted the lines, the game started. It wasn't a forfeit, which again, the officials are allowed to call a forfeit if the field isn't in perfect condition. Kick is away. Let's have some more fun. 14-4, Craigavon will field and run as they get beyond the 20 and can't get to the 25. Eugene McCarthy on the stop. Eugene McCarthy wears 46. He is one of the 5 blockers on the right side of the offensive starting position. I'll put the UCD starting defense back up for the benefit of anybody who wanted it today. Fionn McDonald, Daniel O'Brien, and Caleb Gang and Kevin Mayo are the ones getting their first bit of game action. You won't see many of them, but McDonald was a starter.
Don't worry about it. Let's go, defense.
First and 10 from about 23-yard line, as the Cowboys scored once in the first half. We'll see how they start here in the third quarter. And it's a pre-snap penalty to open the game.
Come on, Javier, don't let him push you like that.
UCD is running a 4-4 formation, a typical lineup, instead of running their normal nickel package, which for the benefit of anybody who might want commentary on the formations of football, a 4-4 defense means that you have 4 people with hands down on the line of scrimmage and 4 linebackers right behind them, about 5 or 6 yards, along with 2 cornerbacks and 1 safety to make 11 players. In a nickel defense, you take away 2 of those linebackers and make both of them safeties, one of which is a nickel back, and typically being a hybrid of a linebacker and a safety. First and 5 following the pre-snap penalty. Get the pop pass. And they fly to the ball and bring him down. Fionn McDonald and Eddie Goggins Jr. teaming up for the stop behind the line. So it operates as if it was a first down run for limited gain, but instead, thanks to the first and 5, it was a first down pass that goes for negative yards. Thrilled to see everybody making us part of their Sunday. Cowboys are taking their time in the huddle. 12-minute quarters. This is also another thing that separates us from the version of football that you might see played in the United States. One receiver wide left is going to come into motion, and it's going to be a fake that way. Nobody was there. Literally 0 receivers were in the area. I'm curious if this is grounding, as 3 UCD receivers were running to catch a ball that no one for Craigavon was near. Referee is going to come in from his normal position, and I do believe they're going to be discussing intentional grounding. For the benefit of anybody who's tuning into football for the first time, somebody has remarked that they just recently picked up the game. Intentional grounding is a penalty when the quarterback is deemed to have thrown the ball away without a receiver. When the quarterback leaves the pocket, and instead they do not call the penalty. So he's just 3rd and long. So they don't call it here, but if the quarterback leaves the pocket, the ball gets behind the line of scrimmage. Normally that's okay, but there has to be a receiver in the area. And there was not. Catch made, and it's a short gain for Sean Quinn as he is crunched on the play. Sean Douglas, I believe, on the stop, and UCD's going for some help. This is not good. We've already had a couple of injuries require medical attention today, as this is a key contributor on UCD's offense and defense and special teams.
Offense down here, let's go, let's on.
Offense, get ready to go.
Douglas is listed as the backup strong safety as well as the starting running back. UCD rotates their running backs very frequently,
Up or down?
as he was first in on the stop of Quinn.
Max, right formation. 23 personnel.
So this is not good. As that is not Sean Douglas, thankfully, but it is a 7 on the uniform, and it looks like Tavir Toby is going to pop up. Douglas was in on the stop, and given his dark helmet, I thought that was him, but instead it's Toby coming off. He'll bring on Millie Peach to take over his spot on the line for this 4th down play. I saw the 7 and immediately thought it was Douglas. Sorry. There is a huge difference between Sean Douglas and Tavir Toby, in case you couldn't tell from the screen. Tavir Toby is 6'5" with dark skin, and Douglas is not that height with not that skin. So that's my bad for making that misidentification. Mark McCauley is back to punt, and he gets the ball away. Douglas to receive, and the return is, I don't think, going to go anywhere there. For anyone new to watching our games, the camera is an artificial intelligence-powered camera that is not operated by a human who understands the game of football. So frequently, it will miss plays, it will focus on things ahead of time because it's gathering a lot of footage, and it will cut it down in post to actually track the play properly. But while it's watching live, sometimes it can feel like riding the high seas watching a football game. And not riding the high seas as in watching on Yarm 80+. 2 receivers each side with a offset pistol back. Handoff is to Finnegan, and he's bottled up by 5 tacklers on the defensive line. It's like Dara Tyson and Jamie Cotton in on the stop, among others. I believe that was also Matthew Stubbs on the line for Craigavon. 3 receivers now line up to the right. 2nd and long.
Hey, what's play calling, guys?
O'Connor at the controls will hand it off again. Finnegan, a powerful runner, and he's met and wrestled down after a short gain. 3rd down. That tea was still hot. It means the temperature control in the mug actually works. 3rd down and long. Three receivers right. O'Connor's looking that direction. Has a man open. It's Pindy for the first down catch. Shakes and bakes to get to the halfway line. Masterson is coming off. Duffy is coming on. They'll keep 3 receivers trying to see where they align. They'll bring him onto the left side of the field. Ball in the right hash. O'Connor at the controls with the pistol back. 1 receiver is to his right. It is a handoff to Finnegan. The blockers make some great plays, opening up a hole for Finnegan. Strong on the ball. He hangs on to it. And that is another injury timeout for Craigavon. Niall Coogan will come on to relieve Jack Finnegan, as this timeout is not going to take as long as the previous one. He does have to come off for a play because medical attention came out. I believe that's 51, JJ Young. Young is in his 3rd year with the squad. He must exit for a play. 3 receivers left and 1 wide to the right. Coogan can't make up his mind as left or right. He'll settle on right when he lines up next to O'Connor. Take the handoff. O'Connor kept it, passing it to Duffy. Duffy will make through on the blocks and finds a hole. It's close to that first down line if he's not there. 3rd down is the signal. UCD in short yardage situation. They either go for a shot play because they like to go for it on 4th down, or they can trust their running game. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Duffy at the near side of the screen. Handoff is to Coogan. He'll go around the right side. 1st down and more. Inside the 25, there's a flag on the play. And the Cowboys figures out the ball. And indeed, medic is coming out. Well, we've got a couple of things to sort out here. UCD seems to think the play is still going. Medics are now being called for. the play stopped beyond the first down line. Oh boy, this is a puzzler. Gar Farrell is out to discuss. Someone for Craigavon is down. A flag is down on the play. Craigavon believes they've got the ball. And considering everybody is running for medical help, this does not look good. I do not know who is down. It's something you don't see frequently, medical help actually running to the injured player. I was told when I was in Ireland last year, medical personnel are actually trained to walk to the injury, even if they're far away, not run. And the thought process there is they don't want the medical help to get injured running while they're heading to tend to an injury. That was the thought process that was given to me. So there's a lot to sort through here. Third quarter of action, UCD is up by a possession over Craigavon. And if it is UCD ball without a penalty, it looks like it'll be first down. So we've got a couple of things to discuss here for the officiating team as a rugby match is getting set to get underway on the other side of the field. And uh-oh, they're bringing out the stretcher. This is real bad. This does not look good for the man down on the field. Listen, I've seen a lot of injuries in my year plus calling football in Ireland. I have not seen them bring out the stretcher. So this is a first for me. I do not know who is down. I did not see the contact or the twist or the whatever it was. So you can go back in the stream and watch it faster than I could tell you what happened. So if you're interested in finding out what happened on this play, I encourage you to rewind and watch the play back because I can't. I have to stay live. Ooh, this does not look good for the man down on the field. This is UCD's first drive of the third quarter. Cowboys drive stalled out and ended in a punt. We've had a lot of people tuning in today. We've had Washington State and Washington, D.C. chiming in. Tennessee has chimed in. Ontario, Canada has chimed in. Rotterdam has chimed in. We've had Hong Kong tune in. Vietnam. Wide reach of UCD American football today coming up against the Craigavon Cowboys. Cowboys, last season, they struggled in a lot of phases of the game. They were unable to move the ball very much, and it's awfully difficult to score points when you can't move the ball. And they lost to both University of Limerick and South Dublin last season. Maybe best not to show the live feed. Yeah. All right. So again, we've got an injury timeout on the field. Not 100% sure what happened, and I can't go backward. I have to stay live. So I'm watching the feed just like all of you, just trying to see what happened here. But stretcher is out for a player for the Craigavon Cowboys. This is not the first injury today that has required medical personnel to come out onto the field, but it is the first one that's required a stretcher to take somebody off.
Crazy.
Coaching staff for UCD and the players, as well as the Cowboys, are just trying to keep themselves ready to go for whenever the game actually resumes. Once again, we thank you all for joining us. Put comments in the chat. We've got time for questions if anybody's got any. I have to keep my eyes locked on the feed just to keep everybody updated on when this game might be resumed. The player is still down on the field, still being tended to. He is not on the stretcher yet. As an injury on the most recent play, it was a 3rd down run by UCD to get a first down. The ball came out as well. So there's still some stuff to sort through. Difficult site here for UCD and Craigavon. I think everybody who tries out for this game understands that football is a violent game. It's a fast game. It's difficult to control your body at all times. Again, I do not know precisely what happened to the player for the Cowboys who was down on the field. Medical personnel are still over him, making sure that he is okay to go on the stretcher and see potentially what might be happening. The officials are discussing among themselves what to do. UCD's coaching staff, along with one of its veteran leaders, are out there as well, trying to discuss what to do. And our camera has lost connection. This happens sometimes with UCD's cameras, that the camera loses connection. We'll get it right back. So instead, hi, everybody. My name is Max Wolpoff. I'm the voice of UCD American Football. I am waiting on the camera to come back live. It is partway through the 3rd quarter. UCD has the ball for the first time in the quarter. On a 3rd down and short run, a player for the Craigavon Cowboys is injured, and he is being tended to by medical personnel at last look. I've been told that we're going to have a long timeout. So, yeah, I've been told we're going to have a long timeout here. This is a serious injury for the player who was down on the field. Who's got questions? We've got time to answer them now. So if you've got questions about pretty much anything, I'll answer them. Just try to keep everybody entertained. It is a 14-6 game. UCD is in the lead. A player for the Craigavon Cowboys went down injured on the last play. Yeah, that's what I was told as well. Again, I'm not going to say precisely what the injury was here on camera. I don't feel that that's appropriate for me. I'm not a medical personnel. I'm only hearing hearsay from people who are on the field. There's been no imaging to confirm anything, because where are you going to put the machines on the field? But this is the first drive of the quarter for UCD. They do lead by 1 possession. Cowboys opened the half with the ball. They punted it away. So again, we do have a bit of a lengthy timeout coming here. So if you've got other things you want to tend to, I totally understand. I have let UCD's coaches know that the camera is out. So hopefully somebody gets the camera back working. I have taken the feed down as well, because there's nothing to see other than the fact that the camera's out. So we've got time. If anybody's got questions, this is a good time to ask them. Or if anybody just wants to talk shop about other sports, I have opinions on other things other than football. Just trying to keep everybody entertained until the game comes back. I don't have commercials to roll. I don't have many sponsor reads other than the ones for Tap House. So right now we're in a bit of a holding pattern. I can't throw to something else, as might be common. Is he dead? I don't believe so. Last I checked, the person was at least moving. So I'm not going to speculate any further on the nature of the injury or the severity. Who's my home NFL team? Okay, Aislinn. That's two answers for me. So I live in Washington, D.C. So technically the home team for me is the Washington Commanders. I don't support them. So for me, my preferred team is the Green Bay Packers. And you can ask my family, none of them quite know why I am a Packers fan, but I am. And I'm also actually a Packers owner. I have the stock certificate and everything. I still don't have an office or a place to hang it, so I don't want to put the certificate itself up until I'm good and ready and settled somewhere. So yeah, my personal preferred NFL team is the Green Bay Packers, but my home team is the Washington Commanders. Yeah, how'd it feel losing again in heartbreaking fashion with a team that didn't deserve to make the playoffs? Y'all have one Super Bowl, we have 4. Time to talk NCAA fix. Kyle, you're still after me about this. All right. I don't know how long the stoppage is going to be, so I'm not 100% sure if we've actually got enough time to read through my thesis on how to fix college sports. We might. Time to talk the NCAA fix. So for everyone who doesn't know, last year when I was at UCD, I completed a master's program in sport management, and my master's thesis was on, yeah, I understand trying to fill time. I am as well. My master's thesis was on how the lessons of college sports in the United States could help the Gaelic Athletic Association in the future. And given the recent decisions by the GAA, they have not listened to me because they never do. Yeah, I'm 3 things that GAA is not, and I'm not going to go into time on any of those 3, but they were never going to listen to me anyway. So the bulk of that particular paper was geared toward trying to use NCAA's history and some of its scandals and some of its problems and 3 seminal court cases, Board of Regents v. NCAA in 1984, Caleb Williams can kiss my ass. I'm a Packers fan first and foremost. Also, they used Alston versus NCAA in 2021, as well as House versus NCAA settled in 2025. So I use those 3 cases as a bit of a look in to see what problems college sports had in the United States trying to keep the amateur professional distinction, and some of the issues that came up as a result of fighting the lawsuit, American law issues. A lot of it came down to an antitrust analysis, which thankfully from my time in law school at the University of Miami, go Canes, they got a big game today against Purdue. So with that, sorry, I wasn't expecting to talk about this today. With those 3 cases, the NCAA's relationship with its sports as well as with its student athletes each changed. One of the big things that the Board of Regents case in 1984 resolved was that the NCAA could not own the television rights for all of its teams, for all of its conferences surrounding college football. Now, you might think, well, the NCAA owns the postseason tournament for basketball. Yes, that's because it's their tournament. So that's the big cash cow for the NCAA. They don't make a lot of money on football, except if you go to the FCS level, because that's actually administered by the NCAA. Football, the bowls and the playoff are run by a separate organization that, in technical speak, pays the schools separately from the NCAA. Sorry, I'm getting worried that the camera's not back. right, give me a second. I'm going to try to reload the camera to see if the feed is back. I'm not sure if the injured player has been taken off. I'm not sure if the game has restarted. And no, the camera is still out. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if they have to wait for a replacement ambulance if the player is leaving in the ambulance. There is an ambulance on site at this game. I think that's part of the reason they brought out a stretcher. As we close in on 11 a.m. local time for me, and we also are closing in on, trying to do the quick math, I believe that's 3 p.m. local time for Ireland. I'm not sure what the protocol is here. So again, back to my story. So the NCAA lost its television monopoly on football, which is why you saw the conferences start making their own television deals starting in the 80s and 90s. They tried a bunch of different combinations over those decades, and those combinations ended up yielding the behemoth powers that we see today in the Power 4, which was the Power 5. Just Oliver, I wish I could. 3 p.m. here in Ireland. Okay, I'm not good at math. So again, I wish I could bring you back to football. That's what we're all here to watch, that we're all here to talk about. But instead, there was an injury on the most recent play. And since the injury, the camera has also gone unconnected from the internet. So I can't even bring you the field. I can't bring you any updates or scores. I'm actually going to message a contact I have to. All right, so the player is still down injured. That's what I've been all told. We'll send a new live stream when we get going again. All right, thanks, Patty. Really appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to remove this from. I'm going to remove the camera from view, and I'll just talk amongst you guys. Kyle Freeland has asked me to detail my fixes for the NCAA, and I'm briefly going through my thesis for the NCAA. I can cut that. Okay, so we will get a new live stream link when we're ready to go. The camera is being worked on. Player is still down injured. It is still the third quarter. UCD leads 14-6. So back to my story about how to fix the NCAA. A lot of it comes back to a structural fix. I still think the NCAA or some governing body over the entirety of college sports is necessary, because there's 51 jurisdictions that actually, no, it's 53 jurisdictions. There's one school in British Columbia that plays NCAA sports. There's all 50 states have somebody playing NCAA sports in some capacity, and Puerto Rico. So that's 53 unique jurisdictions to overlook, which is pretty much impossible under American law without either an antitrust exemption or government support. And briefly, for anybody not from the United States who's wondering what the heck is antitrust law, in the early 1900s, the United States government had a problem to address back when Congress actually did things, where they discussed what to do about business combinations that made agreements with themselves to exclude other businesses or combine into forces that had monopoly power. And as a result of those businesses, notably U.S. Steel, Standard Oil, those are two very big ones. There were others. The Congress of the United States made laws that prohibited business combinations of certain sizes, that prohibited combinations in restraint of trade, was the precise language of the law at the time. Those laws have since been updated and adapted, and they've been changed here and there. But for the most part, a lot of business combinations or agreements among businesses in the same industry will get antitrust scrutiny. It's the same reason that the Warner Brothers Discovery merger with Paramount is likely to receive federal scrutiny, because it's a rather large merger between two very big companies. So the hope of the government, if they're interested in doing their jobs, is to make sure that that combination is in the interest of the consumer. It either will reduce costs or reduce or increase efficiencies or provide easier access to content for that particular business. So I use that as an example because it's in the public eye right now, because the government, under its current administration, they've lost a lot of their antitrust attorneys, in part because the administration's policies has forced people to make a decision that I can't work here, and others because they fired them. Either way, I'm not going to get into the rightness or wrongness of that. That's not this is not the place for that. So with antitrust law and antitrust regulation, and what's happened is a lot of businesses are taking this opportunity with a friendlier government to business combinations to start combining into larger forms. And at the end of all of that, that can lead to monopoly power, where the businesses themselves have more power over the government or more power over the consumers than they otherwise would if they were separated. So within all of that comes college sports. And college sports, for those not from the United States or for those who are interested in learning, college sports in the United States is operated rather independently. Each school gets to make their own decisions on a lot of their scheduling, gets to make their own decisions on travel, gets to make their own decisions on whether to affiliate with a conference and which one. They get to make a lot of their own decisions on apparel, on other sponsorships, on where to locate their teams and where to play their games. That's all handled mostly at the school level. Hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Happy to see you tuning in. We have an injured player for the Craigavon Cowboys at the most recent play. He is still being tended to at last look. We've received assurances that we will receive a new live stream link when we get the camera going again. The camera went out as the player was injured. I'm not going to speak on the precise nature of the injury. I do not feel that's appropriate in my position. There are some people in the comments who have said who it is and said what the injury might be. I don't feel it's appropriate for me to say because I'm not there. I can't verify any of these claims. So instead, Kyle Freeman, one of our loyal watchers, has asked me for my fixes for NCAA sports. And considering I've written 2 theses on this subject, I'm actually going through them. Within antitrust regulation, there needs to be some kind of robust government enforcement or robust private enforcement. And that's what handled with the Alston lawsuit in 2021. Sean Alston, that is, he was a former football player at West Virginia University in Morgantown, West Virginia, in the eastern side of the United States, despite the name West. And also there's no East Virginia, it's just Virginia because West Virginia broke away from Virginia during the Civil War, separate story. Sean Alston and a class of NCAA athletes sued in about 2016, saying that the NCAA illegally held their commercial value at $0 for the duration of their college careers. They sued in the Northern District of California. They got a friendly judge to side with them in district court. NCAA appealed to the Ninth Circuit and lost. NCAA appealed to the Supreme Court and lost 9-0. Now, if you're familiar with the United States Supreme Court, very few cases ever get a 9-0 opinion that everybody subscribes to. And the NCAA was pretty much warned by the concurrence by Justice Brett Kavanaugh that if they didn't start changing their business practices, every last one of them was going to be up for antitrust scrutiny later on. With that, the NCAA announced several changes, one of which was allowing individual student athletes to reach their own name, image, and likeness related deals with outside companies. So that's where you get some of the wild west of NIL, where there were limited policies in place because the NCAA was prohibited from regulating it because they had just lost a lawsuit and they had a court order that they couldn't. So that started the lobbying to bring the effort to Congress. And if Congress was ever interested in actually doing its darn job, again, I'm available to testify. I would gladly sit there and take the misinformed and stupid questions by several representatives and senators, because frankly, the only times they actually call hearings on this is to get sound bites for their own reelection, which is just normal course of politics in the United States. That's nothing new. Congress is the one that has to step in because it's their antitrust law. The president despite executive orders to the contrary, does not have the authority to stop enforcement of antitrust laws. And that leads to several issues. So I still think the silver bullet to fix the NCAA sports is through Congress. Unfortunately, the United States Congress doesn't feel like doing anything, as evidenced by their inaction on several other issues. Most notably right now, the shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security, which is leading to several hours worth of delays at airports because the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, is run through the Department of Homeland Security, and TSA hasn't gotten paid in a month. Unfortunately, they're not able to be furloughed or go off work. Somebody has to run security at the airports. So they haven't been paid in a month, maybe more, and it's likely going to be longer because, frankly, Congress just doesn't want to do anything. Sorry, I have a big contempt for Congress as it's been run since the 90s, and this goes to every administration. Congress just doesn't do anything. Within college sports right now, there's a bunch of different issues that need some kind of a uniform answer. And the only way to get a nationally uniform answer under antitrust law with its current interpretation is by congressional action. So that leads us to, what does that action look like? And right now there are several competing bills in Congress that are being debated. The one that's closest to a vote is the SCORE Act, which would grant the running of college sports an antitrust exemption for both the conferences and for the NCAA, which would be a huge institutional win for both. However, it would restrict some of the things that it can make rules about. So the conferences and the NCAA would not be able to make certain rules around NIL regulations. They would have to defer to state laws as far as agent regulation or agent registration. There's a lot of different procedures about what the schools and the conferences would be responsible for as far as post-playing career healthcare, post-playing career degree completion programs, and a few other major business items that, for the most part, are big NCAA victories. Sorry, I'm going to get some tea. Oh, gosh, that's still hot. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with me. I know this is pretty dry, boring legal talk, but that's what you get when you get an attorney to call your games. When it comes down to what goes into the antitrust exemption or what that might look like, a lot of the Democratic Party in Congress right now don't want to give an antitrust exemption to the NCAA because of several political reasons, because the NCAA, as it's currently administered, seems more aligned with the Republican Party as well as with the White House. And that leads to several political issues in the current climate of the United States where nobody wants to agree with each other about anything. Within the context of college sports specifically, a lot of the student athlete advocacy groups have asked for players' unions of some sort. They've asked for more assurances on insurance or healthcare. They've asked for more worker-friendly policies. And as well, there's been an ask, especially among some of the more liberal end of the spectrum for the Democratic Party. They've asked for the ability and the right to unionize for student athletes. And that is a hard line the NCAA is not willing to concede. And that is something that many student athletes have spoken out against as well. Again, you're not going to find anybody with a uniform opinion on how to fix college sports. That's part of the problem that a congressional bill would resolve, is because it would be a single solution that everybody can operate under. One of the solution types that I'm surprised nobody has come up with is to authorize the NCAA to be the agent of the government, similar to how the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee is given authorization under the Ted Stevens Amateur Sports Act. So another thing that might be anathema to those watching from outside the United States does not fund its Olympic program with government money. It just doesn't. So Team USA is funded almost entirely through corporate sponsorships and donations. And that relieves the government from a burden of taxpayer money going to Olympic athletes, but it puts the burden back on colleges and professional leagues to train high-level athletes in professional and amateur sports to get them ready to play and compete in the Olympics. So if you'll see that the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, I'll read your comment in a second, is authorized by the government to be the overarching body regulating Olympic sports. And the only real claims that athletes have for not being picked for a team or being cut from a team is to go to the USOC and say, you didn't follow your stated processes. So with that sort of authorization from Congress to say, NCAA, you are the sole regulator of college sports at these levels for these sports. What that would do is it would give the NCAA a lot more power than it already has. And I firmly believe that a lot of due process protections need to be in place. The NCAA history is littered with several examples of student athletes, coaches, administrators not being given a fair trial, not being given fair notice, not being given the opportunity to question witnesses, not being given the opportunity to present evidence of their own at trials or at hearings. So my biggest gripe with giving the NCAA or its conferences any antitrust exemption is you have to force them to give in to due process protections for student athletes, coaches, and administrators who are charged with breaking NCAA rules. Not sure people opposing a solution realize the negative impact that NIL is having on smaller program budgets that football and basketball used to pay for. Yeah, that's another aspect of this that's a huge issue. Is a lot of the smaller non-football or non-big time basketball programs that might have been able to get a good team here and there every couple of years, those teams are now feeding grounds for the bigger programs. And you can see that with the advent of the transfer portal and with the ability to spend revenue sharing money from the house settlement. So I'll give a great example. The NCAA basketball tournaments are both going on right now for men and for women. The smaller schools that are in those tournaments, so the seeds like 12 and lower, you'll find that a lot of those schools are in conferences that really don't make a whole lot. Some of them have football, some of them don't. And for the most part, those conferences bank on having a good basketball team go far in the tournament because that allows them to pay for so many other things, because the NCAA tournaments are bracketed out by television units. So if you're a conference that has 2 teams make it, and those teams go one round in and they win both their first round games, those schools get a monetary payment for making the tournament, as well as a monetary payment for making it to the next round. Now, those payments are paid out over 6 years. They're not paid out all at once. So it doesn't. So yes, you might hear the term be thrown out of TV units being about $2 million, but that $2 million is paid out over 6 years, unevenly, but it's paid out over 6 years. That's a lot of money for a small conference or for a small school. That $2 million is distributed according to conference rules. Sometimes the conference gets it all, sometimes the school gets it all, and others it's a split, and others it's split between conference office and all the schools in the conference. Every conference is a little bit different. I can't speak to all of them. I don't know all the rules. And other small programs at big schools like the Texases, the Ohio States, the Michigans, the smaller programs are coming under fire because in the everything has a budget world of state politics, which most schools in the NCAA system are state schools, you're looking at schools that operate small teams like golf, swimming, tennis, even volleyball at some sports, at some schools is small. Swim and dive is a huge sport that is first on the chopping block. Gymnastics was a sport that was on the chopping block for years at many schools until suddenly gymnastics became popular. Those programs, for the most part, don't make money. They don't make a profit. They don't sell tickets, or they don't sell that many. I mean, how exactly do you sell tickets to a college golf tournament? A lot of that would probably just go to the tournament organizer before it goes down into the individual schools. So unless you're a top-end big name college golfer, you're not making any money from this system, and you're not seeing the benefits that the basketball, the football, even the volleyball stars are seeing. The impact on a lot of the small programs is many NCAA schools. We still don't have a link, by the way, to restart play. Trust me, when we have the link, I'll gladly go back to football. But so thanks for sticking with me, everybody. Yeah, the impact on a lot of schools that have smaller programs that don't traditionally drive revenue, much of their subsidizing comes from either donations from the general public on University Giving Day. I know rowing at my alma mater, Boston University, they have a huge donation pool. And for the most part, they're funded by donations, not by the school. Ambulance has arrived. Hopefully be back shortly. All right. Thank you, Patty. Really appreciate it. I can stop talking about this. So I'll try to put a coda on my big ideas to fix college sports. The only way to really have a permanent solution that is truly national in nature is to go through Congress. Unfortunately, if you follow the news in America at all, Congress moves at the pace of a dead person. It doesn't move. It just doesn't do anything. And this current Congress is on track to be the least productive Congress as far as the legislation passed ever. And this surpasses like the Congress that was obstructionist to President Obama's agenda or the obstructionist Congress to President Trump's agenda a few years ago. This is on track to be the slowest and least productive Congress in U.S. history, even dating back to the 1700s, where Congress frequently just didn't have a lot to do because there weren't many issues. They had more to do than this one, apparently. So I use all of that to say that if you're in the United States and you have a passionate opinion about this, lobby your congressperson. Write them an email. You can meet with their staff. I met with mine. I met with the staff of my congressman not too long ago, actually, and lobbied specifically for changes to the SCORE Act that I felt were more in the best interest of college sports generally. Another issue which a congressional act would be able to resolve is not a single person in the United States or anywhere else wakes up every day with a question of what's best for college sports. Not one. Not Nick Saban, not Tim Tebow, not Greg Sankey, not Jim Phillips, not Gino Auriemma. Nobody. Nobody wakes up every day with a specific mission of handling all of college sports and speaking specifically to what's best for it. Not one person. Not even Charlie Baker. His job is to protect the institution, and he does a pretty good job of that. So having somebody overseeing, even if it's sport by sport, overseeing college football, college basketball, college lacrosse, college golf, college swimming, somebody has to answer the question of what's best for college sports today, not just what's best for my university, what's best for the institution, what's best for my athletes, what's best for my coaches. Not a single person answers those questions today. Everything is divided up by the schools. And we've gotten to a point where college sports are so big and there's so much money at stake. You kind of need somebody to be able to drive those decisions and lead college sports into the future. Is that me? I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough to answer those questions. But I am smart enough to point out when something's a problem. I just don't know how to fix it. So, Mr. Freeman, I guess there's your short answer is you have to go through Congress to get an answer for Max Rizar. Oh, God. My dad's Russian side of the family would be upset with that answer. So, again, I could wax poetic about college sports forever, and I have. Part of the reason I didn't talk about it last time is I didn't know how much time we were going to have. And clearly we had plenty of time with the injury timeout here in the third quarter. I'm grateful some of you have stuck around to watch. We are getting back underway soon. As soon as I get the live link again, I will bring back. All right, just checked my email. It's not there. Yeah, listen, I think something like that would be an incredible higher calling, but I have no credibility within the college sports system. No one will listen to me. And that was evidenced by the fact that nobody read my theses. So I would gladly assume such a responsibility, but I'd have a lot to learn in the first couple of months. And I hope that they would pay handsomely, because it's not exactly easy to go around the country and try to figure out the solution that's going to be right for Alaska Fairbanks and Hawaii Manoa, as well as for the Texases and Ohio States of the world. It's hard. It's a hard job. It's a big decision. Yeah, the feeder school issue is really a problem. I agree with you, Will. Interesting. NC State lost their top running back and O-line to the SEC. And last year, Casey Concepcion left for Texas A&M. Yeah, and Casey Concepcion didn't do much in the college football first round. Boom, roasted. Thanks a bunch, Miami. So with that, the feeder school system is a major problem. However, because of the antitrust rules, the NCAA can't put restrictions on the transfer portal. So that's some of where you need an antitrust exemption to be transfer fees. That's another solution that's been offered. I think George Mason's basketball coach or somebody at a basketball school said, I'd love to be paid by the school that's receiving my player after a transfer, similar to European soccer. And those sorts of fees could be really helpful for a school that's like similar to Sunderland in the Premier League. Is you come here, get noticed, and we'll sell you somewhere else. Yeah, it would make a difference. I agree. However, that sort of system and that kind of rule would need to be put in by Congress, because U.S. law doesn't allow the NCAA to just unilaterally impose that, because that's a penalty for dealing. Yeah, year of eligibility being lost and the year in residency was a way to discourage transfers. You're correct. And that, again, those sorts of regulations can't exist in the current legal landscape because of Alston, because of House, because of Board of Regents. You can't impose that penalty on a contract, even if it is a scholarship to play university level sports. It's really, again, the impetus is that Congress has to change the law to allow these sorts of things. And as I said earlier, Congress moves at the pace of a dead person. They're just not doing anything. And I'm sure if anybody in Congress watches this rant or this conversation that I'm having here, you need to do your job. That's all you. You were elected, you're paid a salary, you get to fly in the fancy jets, you get to do the fancy stuff. What do you do all day? Like, genuinely, what does Ted Cruz do all day? What does Maria Cantwell do all day? I'm picking a Republican and Democratic senator just because I'm trying to be fair here. Like, what do you guys do all day? Sorry. I have a lot of feelings about the U.S. Congress just being inept, and some of that comes back to the structure of how Congress is elected, because they're all elected from gerrymandered districts. There are very few competitive House elections every year, and that's by design. The parties in power at their state houses have purposefully made sure that you, the voter, have less choice. And that is something that humans across the world should be angry about. That's not the link I was looking for. So within the current system of Congress, I have less choice over who my representatives are because I've been gerrymandered into a district. Where's the football game? Yeah, we've had an injury. So now I get to come back to this. We've had an injury on the field. The UCD decided to take down the camera. And we have a new link. All right, so the football game should be here very shortly. I'm refreshing my email inbox to get this link. Come on. I'm trying. Yeah, the football game went away because we had a very serious injury on the field to 10-2. It is partway through the third quarter. Cowboys punted the ball. UCD is on their first offensive drive. Did it go into my spam folder for some dumb reason? No, it did not, but I can delete all those. Yeah, as a former D3 athlete, Mr. Freeman's pointing out that it wasn't a fair system with the penalties. for transferring. Again, I agree players should have the option to move similar to any other students. Like, again, there are no restrictions on regular undergrads moving from university to university. As long as they're on track to graduate, who cares? Yeah, I think sports needs some sort of national solution, and it's just not there right now. So hopefully that's the last time we discuss this, because the other games throughout the course of the season don't have lengthy hour-plus stoppages. I have been told that the game is getting set to get underway again. And I've been told I'll also be receiving a new link to the stream. And thanks to everybody for sticking with us through this lengthy delay that we've had. UCD took the camera down on purpose to make sure that medical personnel was... Oh, just got it. Okay. Now I have it. All right, give me a sec. All right, we're almost set to get back underway. Okay, give me a second to share my screen, and I can pull the game back up that we're all here to watch. UCD is up 14-6 over the Craigavon Cowboys. UCD is on the drive on offense. All right. Here's the football game, everybody. We're back. So UCD has the ball. They are on offense, it looks like. As the blurriness you see on the right side of the camera is the halfway point of the camera. So hopefully that's not going to be a problem later. Next time I'll ask if they made you college sports are what you would do, but hope no more delays. Now we're 2 for 2 on games with lengthy delays. There is a flag still on the field, and that flag has not been called. So again, there was a penalty on the play. There was an injury on the play. There were a lot of things that went wrong on that play in all sorts of contexts. So we might just have blurry midfield. I really hope we don't. Well, Mr. Freeman, I hope that was a sufficient answer for you, even if it was an unsatisfactory one. But if anybody wants to point fingers at whoever it was necessary to ask why in the world did we just have an hour-plus conversation about the future of college sports, Kyle Freeman is the one you want to talk to. Yeah, amazing. Listen, I'm thankful that I had enough material to cover the length of time that we were out. I could have gone longer, but frankly, I just don't think it's a great idea for television purposes to just be staring at me talking about the future of college sports. Anyway, for those just joining us, I imagine there are probably a few of you coming back from the kitchen or coming back from potentially a nap, as probably would have been a good idea to go take a nap. UCD has the ball. After an injury on the most recent play, we are getting reset to come back. Both teams have been given an opportunity to warm up, so we're watching that, sending Patty Murray your name. Thanks, Mr. Freeman. I really appreciate it. So both teams are being given an opportunity to warm up. Tygo O'Connor and Eddie Goggins Sr. are warming up the receivers. The offensive line is going through some drills. It is 14-6. We're in the third quarter of action, as UCD has the lead by 8 points. And we are getting set to restart play. This is the second game of the season for UCD, and it is the first game of the season for the Cowboys. we're thrilled all of you have stuck around through this lengthy delay. Hopefully we don't have another one like this, either during this game or in the future games. It's just not comfortable for anybody because I have to sit here. I have to keep the game focused. I have to monitor the chat, watch the stream. So, yeah, this is, again, just a really difficult situation to be in for everybody involved. Football players are, and like many athletes, are conditioned to a routine. So the line coaches are doing get-off drills. Receivers coaches are doing route drills. And again, we're getting set to get restarted here. I believe the game is going to pick up right where it left off. So it's UCD's first drive of the third quarter. Craigavon Cowboys have held themselves in this game. One long explosive touchdown pass is all they have for scoring. So Fionn McDonald is the one on the get-off drill underneath, as well as Kevin Mayo. Great. Actually, if y'all will give me a second here, I'm going to try to remove the blur in the middle of the field while we've got an opportunity to do so. So give me a second to refresh the camera feed. Try to refresh the camera feed and see if the blur goes away, and it does not. Shoot. All right, well, that didn't work out as hoped. So instead, here is your game. So camera is down a little bit so they can focus on a couple of fixes. They'll put the camera up and it'll zoom out. Carl Mallon and Hugh O'Connor are the ones you see on the near sideline. And it looks like the blur at midfield is gone. So yay, that has been fixed. Again, we're grateful all of you decided to join us. It is past 11:30 here in the East Coast of the United States. We're closing in on 3:30 and 4 o'clock as... Oh, hang on a second. Sorry. We were all the way at the open of the video, and nope, the blur is still there. Shoot. So we're going to get set to go pretty soon. Again, we had a severe injury on the most recent play. Hopefully, player in question is okay. I was not given a name, and I was given several tidbits about the injury. I'm not going to go into details. Hopefully, UCD and the Cowboys will have more information following the conclusion of this game, but we've still got a game to finish. Again, thrilled that all of you decided to join us. Drop a comment in the chat if you haven't already, where you're tuning in from, or tell me what you did during the hour-plus break that we had. I'm curious to hear what other people decided to do with their time. I answered Kyle Freeman's question of how would I fix the NCAA, and that took up almost the entirety of the chat for the duration of the break. So there's the official's whistle. So it looks like we're going to be set to restart play. It is first down, and I don't see the down marker. So I believe, based on the information in front of me, that UCD, on their last play, had a penalty imposed against them, causing this first down to go back. Craigavon does lose the appeal that they did not get the ball to start. They did not get the ball out of that pile. The injured player has been removed. He is seeking medical attention. A new ambulance has been brought. So thank you to everybody who has stuck with us through the duration of this break. We're back. Let's have some fun. 2 receivers to the left, 2 in the backfield with O'Connor in the offset pistol. O'Connor looking out for this pass. He's got it. And it's Stenson on the catch and run. I had breakfast and showered. Okay, well, thanks for doing something during the break, bro. Really appreciate it.
Come on, let's get lined up.
And now still 2 receivers now each side. Stenson and Sen are the receivers on the left. It's going to be a handoff on the pistol back set. And that's a good run for Coogan. That might have been Cooper McQueen, 30, not 32. And 2 straight plays. UCD is taking it to the Cowboys following the restart. Yep, that is indeed Cooper McQueen in the backfield. Arizona resident. Now in the broken pistol set, he'll take the run. He's got room up the side, and Stenson loses his block. Douglas will come in to relieve him, as Masterson also comes in. This is 2nd and 10. UCD did not get the first down and 10 inside of the 10, so it's not 1st and goal. Three receivers right, 1 to the left, ball on the left hash. UCD knocking on the door of another goal. Run play, Douglas, left side of the line, and he is stopped for a minimal gain.
Let's go, UCD!
At the 3-yard line is where this play will reset. This might be 1st and goal. UCD is trying to go quick to take advantage of Craigavon's substitutes. Handoff is to Douglas. He's got the right side of the line. Touchdown, UCD. So it's now 20-6 as UCD takes advantage of the quick restart. Looks like there's some flags, though, so hang on a minute, everybody. This might be a penalty on UCD to restart. I can't see because the camera has decided to pay attention to the rugby match on the other side of the field. I'm trying to watch the official signal, see if I need to take the touchdown off the board. See, the smokestacks are going well in the power plants east of Dublin today, toward the Irish Sea. And one of the receivers is signaling that both penalties are against the Cowboys, as he's eavesdropping on the officials' conversation. This is where the United Football League is superior, because they actually allow us, the viewers, to hear the discussions. Touchdown on the most recent play, pending penalties here, as it was a quick reset for UCD. 4 plays after the restart, they get into the end zone. We'll see if the touchdown stands. Okay, I hear the score is good. The score is good on the board. We have the correct score, 20-6. UCD will be going for 2. This is seems like a full house backfield here for O'Connor. And they take the snap. Pitch play to Douglas. Douglas cuts up the middle of the field, and he is in. 2 points is good.
Hey, Kickoff!
And looks like a Cowboys player is down near side of the field. And this is the last thing the Cowboys need. Yet another injury. UCD on the board, 22-6. We have a question in the chat from Kyle Freeman again, so don't worry, this one won't take very long. Would it ever make sense to put the camera on the other side? Listen, from a production perspective, yes, it would make sense. From a UCD control perspective, it would not make sense. I don't think visiting teams would agree to it because the camera microphone would pick up their talking and their signals, so I definitely don't think that the coaching staffs of other teams would want that. I also don't think UCD would want to give up the control of having the camera on their sideline. In addition to that, the down markers being on the home team sideline is a big bugaboo for me. It's great for road games because the camera's on the away sideline. I can see them. But here, because the UCD team is home and the camera is on the home sideline, I can't see the down markers. It's a control thing. It's not a production thing. And again, I have zero say in any of that. I can give my input and I will be shot down with a no. We're very thrilled all of you have decided to stick with us here for UCD American Football live from Dublin 4. My name is Max Wolpoff, live from a remote location in the United States. It is 11:45 in the morning where I am. We had an hour-plus delay for an injury, and there was yet another injury delay following the 2-point conversion. We love all you do. Listen, I love that there's an audience at all for any of this. I really do. I really appreciate that people are tuning in for both squads. People are tuning in for UCD. People are tuning in for Craigavon. People are tuning in to watch their buddies, their family members, spouses. I had one person's mother-in-law watching. So it's incredible to see that there is an audience for this. There is an incredible source of pride for these squads. Masterson is back to kick. And we're set to get back underway. This will be the Cowboys' second time with the ball today. And the kick is away. And the return is coming up the middle of the field. Got a little bit of wiggle room, but about beyond the 25 and no further. Cooper McQueen on the stop. Offense will be called over for a quick conference with the coaching staff as Toby and Peach, among those on the defensive line, will come out to start this play. 1st and 10 from the 26, maybe, yeah, 25 actually, 25. Dara Farrell is the one in the yellow Bass Pro Shops hat. He's the defensive play caller as Riley Roy gets his first chance with the ball since the timeout. Pass behind the line of scrimmage. It is caught, dances around a few tackles, and crunched. Hugh O'Connor brings him down, and it's a second down set up here from the 30, 2nd and 5. Cowboys get ready to go. It's a 4-person set as the Canadian quarterback calls out his country for the play call. And this leads to a handoff left side of the line, and it's met by a pile of bodies. So the Maple Leaf play does not go anywhere, much like the Maple Leafs this season. Boom. That was a great joke. Please clap. Mayo will come on, as that's O'Connor coming off.
Let's go, D. Let's go, defense.
UCD lining up in a 4-4 formation here. 4 linebackers, 4 on the line, and 3 in coverage. Fullback in motion. Another handoff behind the fullback. And that 3rd down play is not going to be enough for a first. Oh, it's first. Just beyond the nose. Looks like it's just beyond the nose of the line. So the Cowboys get a first down here. 1st and 10, got to get to about midfield. Motion from the tight end. He gets the handoff on the around play, and that goes nowhere. Tavir Toby brings him down.
Good job, kids.
I can understand why Toby doesn't want to come off. He's having a good game. We are still in the third quarter. This is the Cowboys' second time with the ball. Their only score of the day came on their 4th drive of the second quarter. It was an explosive passing play that slipped through the hands of Michael Harvey. Another run to the strong side of the play. And whistle goes before the ball comes out. Eddie Goggins Jr. almost got his second fumble recovery. Millie Peachin among those in on his top.
Let's go, defense. Big stop here, boys.
Peach is from Marengo, Iowa. She has 7 years of football experience, including this one, but in her own words, she hasn't played in 5 years. She's also playing for UCD's women's rugby team. Passing play is low throw and incomplete. That is 4th and long. As Harvey among those on defense. And Craigavon looks like they will punt. Sean Douglas has been the one returning punts today for UCD. We'll see if he's still doing so. Looks like this has been more of a punt safe formation, but Gunners are a little bit tighter than they normally would be in formation. It's a low snap. Punter can't recover it, and that's going to be great field position for UCD. I don't know if that's a fumble recovery or a turnover on downs. It results in the same either way. That's more for record-keeping purposes than anything else. And as far as record-keeping, I'm the only one keeping them, at least live during the game, that is. UCD's offense back on the field. They scored on their first drive of the third quarter, making it a 22-6 ball game. Got 2 in the backfield, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Tygo O'Connor in formation, hands it off to Finnegan. It's a fake on the handoff. Got me fooled. Catch and run. It's a first down play. Jack O'Riordan, the one on the swing pass catch. Taken down hard and heavy. Sean McVeigh and Eddie Goggins Jr. are going to be the ones that call, Eddie Goggins Sr., that is, calling out the offensive signals. Now it's a more traditional formation for UCD. Shotgun set, 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Finnegan is the lone back. He gets the ball. It's up the middle, creates a good room for him up the side. And center on that play, Liam Butler and Alex Saeed McGuire both time up to make a good block and create a hole. Inside the 5, UCD marches again. In the lead, 22-6, up by 2 possessions. Can UCD go up a third? A fumbled long snap gives UCD good field position. 3 plays, pitch play. Finnegan has 1 man to beat. He gets away, but the ankle tackle is a flag on the tackle as well. So this is a lost yardage play. We'll check the penalty. I believe that was first down. We're approaching high noon in the United States. And it is a penalty against UCD. Given the distance marched off, probably a hold. Out beyond the 10. UCD sets with two receivers each side and a shotgun back. O'Riordan in motion. It is a run play to Finnegan. He's stumbling forward, getting past the 5. And now the sun is out, so that's going to make the yellow numbers pretty much illegible from here. UCD knocking on the doorstep here as the camera has decided to take a frolic and watch the rugby on the opposite field. 22-6 score in the third quarter. UCD's second time with the ball. Inside the 5 and a pre-snap penalty. Flag must have come in from the near side of the field because I couldn't see it. Dead ball not set. I don't know where they thought that's a stop of play. Oh, nope. End of the quarter. All right. So that third quarter went a lot faster than I expected. So no play. Quarter ends. UCD had one complete drive in that third quarter. It resulted in getting 8 points on the board to extend this lead. We are closing in on the final quarter of action. Before we get started with the fourth quarter, I want to thank our presenting sponsors, Tap House Bar, Kitchen, and Sounds, proud partners of UCD American Football, the perfect place for your pre- or post-game parties. Again, I'll put the donation links up again before play gets restarted. If you're enjoying today's stream and you want to help the club out, our Revolut link is on the left. Venmo for one of our club officers is on the right. Thank you so much for being part of your Sunday. Thank you for spending it with us. These links help us cover a lot of costs associated with live streaming. The accounts are not cheap. The camera equipment is not cheap, even though it is AI. All this stuff helps a small club go a long way. Next game for UCD isn't going to be until late April when the Belfast Trojans come to town. O'Connor fakes the handoff, looking to the end zone, had a man open, and a misfired pass. I can't tell precisely what down it is. It might be second, it might be fourth. Part of the reason this game is going as long as it is because of a lengthy injury delay. The injured player was taken off the field on a stretcher. Two receivers now each side with the motion. It's going to be a run to Finnegan. He shakes one tackler, gets through another, and it's a touchdown run, Jack Finnegan.
Kickoff ready. Get ready for kickoff. Kickoff ready.
Make it 28 on the board. UCD will line up to go for 2. Goal line to go situation, and UCD has punched it in now 4 times. They are 2 for 3 on going for 2 points so far. 2 receivers each side, ball on the right hash. The running back goes wheel route in motion. O'Connor looks that direction. He'll throw that way, and it's dropped incomplete. One of the running backs swing could not complete the catch.
Don't open any gaps. Don't open any lanes.
Go, Kickoff.
Don't open any gaps.
Pete Masterson has been the kicker for UCD, 6 foot 220 from Portobello in County Dublin. His favorite memory playing football was the 2024 Shamrock Bowl victory, where he had 5 catches and 3 touchdowns for 225 yards. He was also a Division I cricketer for Leinster Cricket Club in Rathmines, and he also finished as a Leinster and Irish schools representative in cricket in 2018. He's been playing football for 5 years, all of them with UCD. He'll kick it away to Craigavon's offense for their first drive of this fourth quarter. Taryn Crooks is the one you hear being called out. He's a County Kildare native. They go in on defensive line after this reception for the kick. Return is going to go to the Cowboys bench sideline, and they get to the 20 and no further. Crooks is from Selbridge in County Kildare. Last year was his rookie season. He's a provincial, intervarsity, and national team weightlifter. He's in his 4th year of a general nursing degree. His UCD is nursing this lead, 28-6. .22 advantage. Cowboys offense, they've stumbled here. They do have a touchdown, but it was from a explosive play that Michael Harvey will tell you he should have caught that ball. And I think you can actually hear him back when he comes back to the sideline. He says, "That's my bad, boys." And again, I believe him when he says that. 1 receiver each side, tight formation in the backfield. It's straight into the teeth of the defense, and this has been a problem for Craigavon all day. Owen Corrigan on the stop, 21. Second down lining up here for the Cowboys. We have passed 3 hours of streaming time here. An hour of so was devoted to an injury timeout. And it's another run straight into the line. 2 plays of that, and 2 plays have gone nowhere. Three men listed themselves as running backs today for the Cowboys: Aiden Caldwell, Joshua John Charlton, and James Gillard. Those men wear 27, 5, and 22 respectively. But with the thin black numbers on the Cowboys uniforms, I have been unable to identify most players today. I apologize to the family members and fans who might be tuning in expecting me to talk about their team. If I can't see who's wearing the number, and it's bounced off of the chest pad, incomplete. That was third down. So here comes the kick unit again for Craigavon. This will be their 4th punt if they're able to get it off. Their last drive was also going to end in a punt, but the snap was fumbled by the punter, Mark McCauley, and he was unable to get the kick away. I don't know if it was a lost fumble or if it was a tackle for loss. Again, truly record keeping at that point, which might be important to the Shamrock Bowl later on in that broadcast. McCauley is back again. Snap is a bit wide. He's able to get a high arcing kick, end over end, and that does not go far. That play did not work out in favor of the Cowboys. That punt went for maybe a net of 12 yards, if that. There is a brief discussion going on here between the captains on the field and the officials. If this is a penalty on UCD, that might gift the Cowboys, and it does not. So whatever that discussion was about, it doesn't change the result of the play. Another Cowboys punt gives the UCD the ball with good field position. Lewis Stenson is the receiver on the near side of the field. Washington State native, as are, come to think of it, many UCD American players.
Lewis, a bit wider, please. Jack.
It's two receivers each side. Stenson and O'Riordan are lined up on the right. O'Connor claps, gets the ball. It's a handoff to Douglas. Douglas shakes one, can't shake a second, and two defenders meet him for the run stop. That brings up second down. UCD has no incentive to go fast other than their own desire to score. With the lead at 3 possessions, another pass play. O'Connor loading up for O'Riordan. It's intercepted at the goal line. Going to be returned. Getting up beyond the 10, beyond the 20. Flag on the returning play. And a huge tackle from behind stops the return. There is a penalty, and the tackler is not getting up quickly. The flag came on the return, so the interception will stand, as UCD's coaching staff is out to tend to the injured player. UCD scored once in the second half of their first game against the Louth Mavericks. Here, UCD has scored twice in the second half against the Craigavon Cowboys. And next matchup for UCD, you can find the link already on our channel. It will be against the Shamrock Bowl champion Belfast Trojans, who have run back most of their roster from last season. The return came out to the 28th, and they will walk back most of the return. Wow, this is a costly penalty for the Cowboys. March it back inside the 10. And they're still going down to the 1. Penalty did come quickly after the returner broke out of the end zone, and the penalty results in a backed up situation. So keep your eyes open for a potential safety. 28-6 is your score. This is the second time with the ball this quarter for the Cowboys. Two receivers spread wide to the right. Riley Roy back to throw. Roy out beyond, looking for the sideline. It is incomplete. Harry Watchorn on coverage. That was Eddie Elliott, number 7 for the Cowboys. Elliott is from County Fermanagh, Derry Gonolly to be specific. This is his first season playing American football. He joined without watching a single second of playing American football per his bio. Couldn't come up with that last pass, as the camera has decided to take a frolic. Run play, watching the signals, and it's a 1-yard gain for the Cowboys. Elliott has played flag football as well, but mostly spent his time in Gaelic games and soccer. As this is a 3rd and long here for Craigavon. We are past 12 noon in the eastern United States.
Let's go, D!
Craigavon taking their time here, getting themselves set up. Let's see what Roy has in store for his offense. They bring in extra men on the line. And it's a run play straight into the heart of the defense. The quarterback kept the ball. He rolls out with it, and the pass ends up going incomplete. So this will be yet another backed up punt for the Cowboys. Any issues with the snap here might result in a safety or a touchdown.
Taryn, what are you doing? Good job, baby.
The students have broken out of their offensive malaise from last week and have put up 28 on the board with Tyg O'Connor at the controls due to the injury to Aaron Mooney last week. (28-6) is the score, and the punt formation is strong to the left side. McCauley, and he gets it away. A whistle before the snap. So no play here. So yeah, no play on that one. What time is it local time? Add for 4:10. I have to add 4 because next week is when Ireland goes into daylight savings time, and that's when it becomes 5 again.
Hey, listen up. If they allow a safety here, we're going to get a kickoff.
UCD is lined up to receive the punt. Sean Douglas is the returner. And here it comes. Kick got away. And this pick, I think, went out of bounds. I have to assume it went out of bounds, as the officials are going to walk back and see where exactly that went. And yikes, that is not a good punt. Two punts in a row. No scoring drives here for the Cowboys on their most recent here in the second half. UCD has scored twice in the 3 times they've had the ball. Last drive was intercepted in the end zone. So O'Connor gets the ball back at around the 19. Two receivers each side. O'Connor with a broken pistol backfield comes out, finds Stenson. Stenson gets through the blockers and makes a good positive gain out of it. Finn Bruton on the blocking for that most recent play. That's one of those plays where there's only one designated receiver. Everybody else just find a guy. UCD back on offense. This is a second down snap. Play is going to be a run. They get the blocks, getting to the pylon, going through, and it is touchdown. They broke the goal line.
It felt like the ball was in the fucking ages there as well. Return to ready. Pass. I was like, oh, the ball's coming.
34-36 is the score. UCD gets on the board again. How many U.S. players do UCD have? There are a couple of guys that didn't fill out bios for me, so I'm not 100% sure how many. It's non-zero, that's for sure. I believe it's more than 10. 2. Two-point conversion here. My count stopped at 3. O'Connor going right, finds a man open, and can he break through the tackles? Yes. Did he get the line? Yes, he did. Breaking through tacklers and somehow getting into the end zone for the score. That's 2 more points for UCD to go up 30 points. 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe there are 8 on the roster. I don't know how many of them are playing today. So the initial answer of the bios I have, on top of one guy I know who didn't fill out a bio that is American, is 8. So I hope that's an answer to your question.
Defense, you want to keep giving me 20 yards? Okay with me. Hey, defense, you want to keep giving me 20 yards to play, and I'm okay with that. Listen,
that was 2 drives in a row, starting in great field position for UCD. The previous one to this one ended in an interception at the goal line. This one, Mike O'Connor able to find a way through. Masterson back to kick. And it's a quick run up and go. This one looks to be returnable, and it is. Fielded inside the 10. Run is going to be to the offensive left, and it's a heavy stop. 3 men converge on the tackle. A lot of the goal now for UCD is make sure nobody else gets hurt. We've already had a few injuries today that no one wants another one. And also keep your form. Right now, everything is geared toward training for taking on the Trojans in their next contest. A 30-point lead here in the 4th quarter. Cowboys getting the ball for the 3rd time. I have not seen a signal for the 2-minute warning, but my guess is we're closing in on it. Looks like they got a few tight ends on the line. 2 receivers and a back. Lead blocker, and he does not get the blockers on the side. Yet another short gain. Those runs up the middle have not resulted in good plays. Second and long. Roy with the play clock going down. Another lead blocker. It's blocked. It's like he was in their huddle. He read that play so well. Tom McKenniff with a big boom. Cowboys again setting up for a long 3rd down play here. This has been a problem spot for the Cowboys this season. This is their first game. They have once again struggled to move the ball. Roy gets the shotgun, passing play all the way out to the sideline, and over the shoulder, cannot make the catch. That was Eddie Elliott again, looking for the ball. Cowboys will punt again. This is their 3rd time lining up to punt this quarter. Their 4th time lining up to punt to end a drive overall in the half. They were not able to get the second one of those drives punt away. Resulted in a major loss of yards.
Isaac, stay inside 96 and block him outside.
And I don't think they got the play off in time. They did not. Delay of game. 5 extra yards backward. Should set up good field position for UCD once again. A 36-6 advantage as the 3-game homestand is about to reach its middle point with a seeming victory. Neither team has used a timeout in this half. And Craigavon did call their timeout before the play clock expired, so Just saying. Owen Feely chiming in saying rumors of UCD being full of USA players have always been overblown, and I can understand where you get that from. And it's a run. Punt gets away. Douglas waves and cannot recover it. He'll fall on top of the ball. The block gets finished, and a player tabletops over Douglas. Douglas didn't see that one. He dove down and just covered up. He looked like I looked when I recovered an onside kick at SoFi Stadium during a tour. That's a funny story. My brother wanted to test if he could do an onside kick, so I lined up at 10 yards. He kicked the ball. I fell, got the ball, and screamed, "I'm down, I'm down, I'm down." None of us were wearing pads, so I just decided to make it easy for everybody. Looks like it'll be two receivers right, one to the left, with two in the backfield joining O'Connor. Tig has performed admirably today, 36-6, plenty of passing TDs for him. It's a handoff. Cooper McQueen runs straight to the left tackle line. There is a flag coming from the far side official. So we will wait as the players extract themselves from the pile. I'm not sure if everybody could hear, but the call from one of the coaches was take a knee if you need to. Craigavon does have 2 timeouts, but down by 30. It is a low probability of scoring to finish the game, and this will be a penalty against UCD to bring them back. Again, thankful to all of you who have joined us, drop in, drop out, watching the entire time. We're thrilled that you've decided to make us part of your Sunday. It is 36-6, UCD on top. We had a lengthy injury delay to allow an ambulance to bring one of the players for Craigavon away. The new ambulance had to be called as a result. The new ambulance came. We were able to get back. Tight formation to the right side of the offensive line. O'Connor will receive the shotgun snap. Looks for a receiver. He's got it. Denson on the catch and run after the penalty. Sets up 2nd and 10. Keep the same formation. 2 receivers, actually 3 receivers go out wide to the left. And it's broken up in the backfield. A chance, and Craigavon's player goes after it, assuming it might have been backward. Officials stop play, saying no, the pass was forward. As a result of an incomplete forward pass, the play is stopped. McQueen is the pistol back. 2 receivers each side for this 3rd down. O'Connor loads up, looking for Douglas, has it, and he dropped it. And that was right in the chest.
Okay, fair enough.
Sen could not haul it in. Sen is from Bethesda, Maryland, which is close to where I grew up. His proudest moments in football came when he played cornerback, and he had a 0 reception game against any targets thrown his direction. Target thrown his way this time as a wide receiver, as Donovan is able to get the kick away. An amazing block on the left side of the line by Tom McKenniff and Saeed McGuire. Wow. Huge block on that punt return, and now that player is injured. That was quite a block. And it's a 30-point lead for UCD as Craigavon gets the ball for the fourth time this quarter. The officials are going to stand over the ball to allow Craigavon's medical personnel to tend to the player.
Finish heavy! Let's go defense!
The call is finish heavy. UCD is not going to let up just because they're up by 30 points. Officials are still over the ball as apparently we're still not set to go, and now we are. Back judge and umpire clear space. Cowboys set to go. 2 receivers left, one to the right. Throw is over the top and almost intercepted. Bit of an overthrow. Could not get his intended target. Incomplete pass stops the clock. Dara Farrell trying to make sure the defense stays locked in. Because, again, you can slip up here up by 30, but next week against the Trojans, there's not going to be much room for error. 2 receivers each side. Shotgun back. It's a low snap to Roy, and it's blown up in the backfield. The low snap doomed that play. And that's game. So good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Craigavon. So just in time for the camera to fail. All right, everybody, that is it for today's contest. UCD's final score, 36-6. We want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in for today's match. Hopefully you have subscribed to our YouTube channel to keep up to date with all of the UCD games throughout the course of the season. Our next game is going to be against the Belfast Trojans, rematch of last year's Shamrock Bowl. From all of us here at UCD American Football, my name is Max Wolpoff. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great rest of your Sunday.